day-to-day living, one thing stands out as a completely unique experience. Colt 45 malt liquor.
Believe it or not, we have over a mile of inspectors at the Volkswagen factory. More than 7,000 men who have only one job: to keep an eye on the way Volkswagens are made. And there's no nonsense about them. They reject a Volkswagen, or part of a Volkswagen, for little things you might never even see. And when one of our inspectors says no, it's no. That's why you'll never find so much as a blob of paint or a stitch out of place on a new Volkswagen. An inspector finds it first. Frankly, not every car we make makes it. But any car that gets to the end of that long line of inspectors is a Volkswagen.
This is the art season in New York. At the Metropolitan, the Guggenheim, the new Whitney Museum, Museum of Modern Art, and here at the elegant Wally F. Art Galleries, where art lovers see a show that marries art with fashion. This abstraction, called Caperland No. 1, is not a painting and it's not on canvas. It's printed on Caperland nylon and can be worn. So fashion models walk through the art galleries wearing chic dresses in the same prints that are framed to hang on the walls like old masters. And what's more, this art is washable. Leading dress designers think the bigger, the bolder, the wilder the print, the more artistic the dress, such as the dresses styled by Cobb's Corner. And the same bold prints look even more so in dresses for little girls by Tiny Town Togs. But is it really art? Or is it just another fashion fad? Maybe it's both, now that a posh art gallery gives its nod of approval to the print explosion in fashion today.
All right, hello everybody. Hello. It's good to see you all. A delay looks pretty good. Everything looks sharp. All right, folks, welcome back. Had a little bit of a hiccup there. I'll give people a couple minutes here just to kind of get back situated. I'm here with Nitty. Nitty, before I rock back into this clip, let's chop it up. Yeah. Let's do one of those topics you wanted to talk about. We'll get into that, right, and then we'll kick back into the video.
If you didn't catch it last night, I talked in depth about an episode that William Lane Craig did on his Reasonable Faith podcast, responding to my former church's leadership. My former fellowship had an apologist who wrote a book to evangelize, to use as an evangelistic tool called Evidence Unseen. And he is a pastor, teacher, elder in my church. And he critiqued Craig's work on Genesis 1 through 11 as mytho-history. And Dr. Craig's response to the church's stance on Genesis 1 through 11 was to call us naive biblical literalists.
Oh, this is very rich, actually. Okay. So now, okay.
So now I'm faced with this dilemma.
Yeah.
This apologist that I deeply respect, who is giving me the arguments and justifications for my holding on to my Christian worldview, right?
Yeah.
Is turning around and saying, but these Christians over here don't understand the Bible.
Right.
These Christians over here, they're not representing the text faithfully.
Right.
In fact, their interpretation is naive and overly literalistic. So what am I supposed to fucking do?
Right.
As someone who is like willing to question the truth of things.
Right.
Now you have set me in opposition to the people that God has put over me.
Yes. Amen,
What-
Kenny. Welcome to part two. I see the congregation is
shit
gathering. Go ahead.
am I supposed to trust now?
Right.
Is it this apologist who has a lot of money and access to a whole bunch more resources that maybe my church doesn't, or like whatever? Or should I like repent and go back to this church and find a way to insulate myself and keep believing it the way that I did before?
Yeah. And is this not Christmas in August for you?
This is just like fucking what the trolley problem of trying to like hold on to your faith, right? All the options are shit. Like you don't want to pull either lever. You don't want to go to either side of the track with this one. And I was like, well, if this guy over here can't agree with this guy over here through all of their study, all their interpretation. And when I was deconstructing my faith, I was like, Romans, the way that the Pauline author of Romans is using Genesis overall is that all of these people are historical, right? You just can't walk away. You can't fucking say that one patriarch is anchored in history, but Adam and Noah are not.
Right.
Not if you're believing that Romans is inspired, that the Gospels are inspired texts. You don't get to fucking play this mytho-history card because it feels good and makes better sense with the obvious evidence that Genesis 1 through 11 is made up.
Right. Yes. So my question though, is this not good though in your position, because this is putting the cognitive dissonance on display?
Yeah.
So when did this happen?
Exactly why this happened in 2021, last summer.
Okay. And then you're thinking about this now because we just did the William Lane Craig birthday bash and everybody's on William Lane Craig. I started on Craig, and I was saying, I think this is funny too. I guess to some extent I've been being a little bit of a bad YouTuber because I've just been stuck on my own thing lately and like in my own world.
Sure.
And I've noticed
you don't have to
do all the things. I know. But I saw the William Lane Craig bit going on, and I just felt like we had dealt that hand so many times. Like and I realized that that's not the right answer because my community's growing, and so people weren't around when we started by pointing out these things about William Lane Craig, early and often from like the olden days of the stream 6 months ago or whatever it was, right?
I'm really hoping that video catches on more because what I want to display there in that stream is that William Lane Craig is willing to sacrifice the faith and integrity of entire churches and the way they interpret scripture, all in the name of justifying how he believes.
I hate to say this, but
Genesis.
Aren't most apologists doing that, and he's just said it out loud?
And they are. They are.
And then on top of this, I hate to say this, but like this is my disagreement with people like, do you know Richard Mattson?
No.
He's a theist friend of ours. Totally cool dude.
I saw him in the chat before.
Yeah. Totally cool guy. But kind of holds to this interpretation of the Bible where it's true, but it's not talking about this earth. It happened on an earth that's not our earth, and it was delivered by angels, but it's not supernatural because there's nothing, right? So this whole thing. And his whole case is like, well, we're reading the Bible wrong because we don't know the actual language, and since we're not reading it in its original language, we're relying on the interpretation, so we're using the wrong version of all the words. And so, of course, it sounds irrational to you, but if you're going to argue against that position because you think it's irrational, then shouldn't you look for a rational interpretation of it first? That way you're arguing against a rational interpretation of it rather than arguing against the irrational. And I'm like, no, I think it's a dumb book made up of stories and lies. I don't want to harmonize it to make it rational first and then talk about why I think it's horseshit. I think it's horseshit because the way it, but it's this thing. Go ahead.
This conclusion that you want to reach
about
the text.
Yeah.
And you're going to reframe every piece of data that you get in so that you can maintain the conclusion.
Right. But to your point, it's such a twisted and contorted version of it that you're just telling all the other Christians who deal with the sort of common understanding, plain reading, fine, plain English reading. We'll grant you that. We're reading it in the wrong language, but
not even that. Not like, let's say, like, Standing for Truth in Hoven Land, you know, is going down to the goddamn Hebrew and, like, still coming to the conclusion that, like, whatever, the earth is super young and God poofed it all into existence and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
That's still too naive, right?
Right.
Like, so yeah, and I don't think Craig realizes that there are these kind of, like, non-denominational, but yet, like, literal Adam churches out there that can't handle this, like, mytho-history type of interpretation.
Yeah, and he doesn't care. He thinks it's so clever.
Because it completely erodes their ability to hold a strong...
Yeah.
For the people who give a fuck about, like, actually faithfully interpreting texts and
right.
like grounding Christianity in history.
Yes.
Like me, who wanted to lead a church for Christ's sake.
Yeah, amen.
Like,
preacher brother. Yes, facts. Yes.
Like,
Go ahead. I didn't wake up, I didn't volunteer to delusion.
Reality.
Yeah, I didn't volunteer to be stripped of my ability to grasp with the real world because it fit with somebody else's preferred narrative. And so my point with the Richard Madsen, though, is by the same token, he goes so far out there to what I'm just going to call respectfully Never Neverland, that I just don't care.
Yeah.
And well, I don't, and sometimes I'll talk about theists and religion, and they'll like come on and just be like, hey Jay, I'm not like them, and you're only arguing against the irrational ones, and why don't you listen to my rational position? And I'm like, I just don't care. Like, I love you, I think you're a nice guy, and actually he doesn't believe in anything supernatural or anything unscientific. I don't think he's a dangerous person. He probably votes liberal or whatever. Like, I think he's a safe human being. I don't think he's not right. Again, he doesn't hold to any of that shit. So he's not like anti-reproductive rights or anti-science or pro-violence or any of that. Like, he's not like any of that. He's like a perfectly rational, normal person. Otherwise, very much like I think you and me on matters of practical existence and how we should live together. He just holds to, like, I have this way of harmonizing the Bible with what I consider to be science fiction, respectfully again, right? And it's just like, okay, but I just don't care. And it's whereas what we're talking about is the people who want to sort of academically hold up the evangelicals and say, no, I'm the champion of your evangelical, pew-filling Sunday morning Christianity. But when you really peel back the layers of what I'm giving you to encourage you in your faith, I'm basically telling you you're a moron. I'm pulling the Jesus Christ. I'm telling you, hide my ways from the wise so that those who overhear, whatever the fuck, right? That's what they pull, basically, right? Their own version of it, right? Like, hey, guys, the Bible's not literal, but it's okay because it's mytho-history, and you gotta accept this genre of mytho-history so you can really get the true spirit of Jesus. Go ahead.
The way that my non-denominational commitment stood was that you can't adopt this type of framework interpretation of that specific text because it undermines the authority of New Testament texts when you do that, and their veracity and mappability to literal points in history. And the cognitive dissonance just got so high
for
me that I was just like, it's over.
It's over.
It's just over.
Yeah.
If I can't anchor the atonement in a literal
there you go.
Adam, right?
Yeah. Well, this is why I tell people evolution is the death knell. It's not that evolution came along and said, there's no God. It has nothing to do with that. Doesn't even say there isn't some creator of the universe or original source of the big whatever. Nobody cares, right? I find those questions honestly so interesting. When you resort to let's talk about the unanswerable questions, I'm like, maybe when I was 12, I would have sat here and been like, that's super deep, man. But again, I'd rather just smoke some pot and chill than, sit around sober and be like, this is super deep, man. Think about all the things we don't know. And I'm like, honestly, as a grown-ass man, it's a lot of shit to do, not so much time in the day. Like, I don't find pondering the unknowable to be the satisfactory intellectual masturbation that apparently some other people in this community do, right? And so when people resort there, I'm just totally uninterested. And so what happens with evolution is like, it doesn't say anything about religion, but what it says is we don't need all this to explain how we got here.
Right.
And for me, you could can all the philosophical what we can and can't prove to me, because after that, it was just like, well, if we could get here and explain how we got here without God, then he probably don't have the power over life and death and all of this magical hoo-ha with the blood and the sacrifice of Jesus and me having eternal life. Probably not really the reality of the situation. Yeah. And like you said, at that point, I was done. So it didn't have anything to do with proving that there's no... It just was like my particular version required some bang bang superpower Jesus shit, right? And now y'all are telling me we're just kind of like primates that are so weird in our brain we won't stop pondering questions we can't answer.
Not even that. Like, I didn't even have to like go down
that road. Okay, yeah, sure.
It's just the fact that I can't. That this apologist, right, is willing to, like I said, put like this whole category or like intellectual church on the altar and sacrifice them and just be like, nope, you just can't interpret this right. You just don't understand what it's really trying to communicate here.
Yeah, and like the chat is saying, he doesn't really care.
Yeah, and he doesn't fucking care. And that to me is more damning than anything else. Like, maybe I'm just this bleeding heart person that has too much compassion for too many scenarios or something, right? Especially as a Christian. But when I was a Christian, I would be like,
we were better Christians than Christianity.
Well, yeah, it's like, what can I do to not make this person stumble, right? Like to potentially suffer eternal hellfire. If the argument that I'm going to present that undermines their fundamentals of, their assurance that they have in having eternal life, then I'm just not going to make that fucking argument. That's stupid.
If you have to sling lies to justify why Jesus dies, maybe he didn't.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to talk about a little bit.
Oh yeah, of course, I love it.
That's the whole reason I did that. And I'm just going to admit it right here. I'm bandwagoning the Craigian controversy, right? And
of course. And by the way, you guys, you should, because we've been talking about this. What you should do is lock into what your community is talking about, locked into, get on it, because that's what people are talking about right now, right? And then you're giving your own perspective and spin, which for you is very great, because you go, well, I remember this time when Craig came after the particular philosophy of my particular church, literally by name and shit, right? And so now you're like, or by example and association or whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like I talked about when there was a shooting recently at one of the churches, the sister church of the church I play drums at, and I was like, yo, I know people in my church know those people. Like, I know that for a fact, right? So I was like, my community is hurting right now over gun violence at a church, and I'm not okay with this, and it did hit close to home, but I used it to say, oh, it was the week of a whole bunch of mass shootings. And I was like, all right, y'all, I'm going to talk about a mass shooting I ain't even hear about. And it really there's like 2 people, so I don't want to make it sound like a huge shooting. But it was 2 people, 2 young ladies died because the ex-boyfriend showed up to church with a thing and picked her off on Thursday night. An example I used was, folks, she was at the salt company. Y'all see me with the hoodie on. So if that was at the Michigan branch of the salt company, the Michigan State branch, rather than the Iowa State branch of the salt company. And Jay was playing drums because that was his gig instead of sitting at home for COVID, right? Somebody who has exactly my gig playing drums at that church on Thursday nights for the college ministry was setting up for their gig, doing sound check and shit, and there was a motherfucking shooting, and 2 of their friends died or got shot at. One died and the other got shot, right? And I'm like, y'all, if niggas can't roll through the church, get their little worship drumming on, hang with their Christian retard friends, and go home and get ready for next week, something's wrong with this fucking world. I don't care if I'm an atheist or none of that shit, right? Like, y'all gotta stop this shit. I don't even care if I'm an atheist. Y'all can't be shooting up my church friends, or you can't be shooting up my church friends' Like, that's not acceptable, right? Like, and so that's what you do, and that's what you did with this William Lane Craig thing. You said, I have a unique angle on it, kind of interesting given my identity, especially the transition. Like, for me to say, like, y'all, I'm shook right now. Oh, Jay, but you're an atheist. You're shook because there was a shooting at church. Yeah, you goddamn right. Because that ain't got nothing to do with this, right? You know what I mean? Yeah. And so that's how you hit this.
Because William Lane Craig said this? Oh, bitch, I got the receipt.
Yeah, exactly.
I got this podcast. This will get you shook.
Yeah, I say the same thing about Fox News and the creationists. I could talk to you about when I was in college. I got locked up I was locked away dealing with mental health issue because I was robbed out of my rightful place as the president of the motherfucking student government. Fox News did a story about it. Didn't bother to figure out why they couldn't find me or why I wasn't returning their goddamn phone calls. You think the fact that I'm locked up for some mental health issues right now is some shit to story on? Nah, we'll just find the nearest person to speculate on. We can roll the cameras, make this nigga famous on a story about him where he is conspicuously missing from the whole shit, right? And so when I go like, oh, Fox News, David Blackman is here to shove my foot all the way up your ass, please somebody come ask me why it's personal, because I would love to share, right? So Fox with you, go ahead.
All right, next topic.
Oh, next topic. All right, we rolling.
Yeah, we're good.
We're rolling.
So we've sufficiently driven more nails into the
sure. Also, if you want the real scoop, you got to go check out that Knit and Miss content. There you go. Boom, boom, boom.
It's my last video on my channel. It's called Crucifying Craig.
William good Lane one. Craig like and subscribe.
Yeah, William Lane Craig.
I'd rather nail Jan. Hey! All right, go ahead.
So, this thing. Do you know why I have this?
Is it a binder or a tablet?
No,
tablet.
It's a whiteboard.
It's a whiteboard. Ooh. I have one that's like a standing desk, but go ahead.
$8 to $10 at Target, right?
Very expensive.
Backpack.
Luxury
right?
item.
So you take a backpack.
Oh, your whiteboard thing. Go ahead. So break it down for me. I've heard this, but go ahead. Show them anyway.
Nitty is throwing down the gauntlet to all your listeners.
Hang on a sec.
Subscribers. I'm throwing down the gauntlet.
I'm taking the gloves off.
Yeah, I'm taking the gloves off. You go out to whatever store you want, Amazon, Target, whatever, buy a whiteboard, and here's what you're going to write on it. It's best to be an atheist in 2022. Let's talk.
Oh, wow. Wait, Nitty has stepped the game up. It used to be it's okay to be an atheist, let's talk. But like Nitty said, he's throwing down the gauntlet. He's taking the gloves off.
Well, if you're not sure that it's best to be
No. Don't let them take the weak sauce exit.
No. I just want people to get to the core of the
Y'all see the baby face? Did y'all see the baby face come back out? This is a good guy who likes to he's a responsible father with a child. He's trying to raise people to be accepting. Go ahead.
The core of it is to out yourself in a public setting. So I take this to OSU's campus, Panera Bread, where a lot of Christians meet. Yeah. So I want to tell you about the conversation I had today, actually.
Yeah.
So a lot of Christians meet there, but a lot of young people still in this crucial phase of deciding, right? Am I going to adopt my faith position worldview, a secular worldview, or some like progressive amalgamate version of what I grew up with and what I'm like learning from, university? And it's very important that to me that I'm doing this work because one, I'm hoping to prevent people from getting sucked into these like kind of culty and annoying Christian groups.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is to show people that you can actually have rational, peaceful dialogue about your beliefs or non-beliefs without getting upset.
Yeah, sure. Guys, that's not my specialty, but it's what more people should do. There should be very, very, very few people who take to ranting and raving and cursing at others. Plus, if you all do that, then it won't make me feel special. So do what Nitty's advising you to.
Yeah, the other thing though too is it will test yourself as a person and being able to listen and hear out like people's ridiculousness, right? Or their genuine attempts to hold tightly to what they believe, and it'll give you more compassion. And you'll generally, right now, I'm finding that I get the more gregarious people or convicted people talking to me, but those are some of the best conversations that I've ever had, and they've all ended peacefully.
Yeah.
Not a single person has cussed me out or yelled at me. Maybe that's because I have nitty magic and I can get people like Rebecca to say the craziest shit.
Oh my goodness. That shit was wild, bro.
But anyway,
go ahead.
Total tangent.
No, you're good. Yeah, you're good.
Today, the sign generated two great conversations.
Hang on a second. Lena can help people because she's a rich snob. No, guys, literally, it's just amazing how if you're grateful for what life has handed you, you can always find people to help. And what's amazing is, if you're rich, then of course it's easy to help people. But if you're like me and you're kind of broke a lot of times, I still send a lot of super chats because I'm like, I can't afford like a real vacation or like a cruise around the world, but I can send a $5 super chat, So it's important that everybody thinks of ways to help people. Tux talks about a spot at the table. That's all very important.
So, I'm trying to shove over to that in a second. But
okay.
So conversation one was a Protestant that is getting exposed to like more psychological study,
sure,
and like belief formations and stuff. And I think he's probably a person that I could see deconstructing after we talked. And then a Muslim came up to me, and I tried to make him a Christian.
A Muslim came up to you and tried to make him a Christian. Very interesting. That's awesome.
Because here's what he said to me. He said, I grew up in Turkey. I believe the Quran. And when I read the Quran, it's just this beautiful book. It's so unique. It's revealed directly from God,
Sure.
Buddy, like when I was a Christian, I would say the same things about my book, right?
Right.
It accurately portrays the human condition and the state we're in, and it has these wonderful prophecies that predict, what the Messiah will do and how he will act. And like, I gave him the Isaiah 52-53 prophecy and was like, this was predicted 600 years in advance before Jesus Christ. Do you believe it now? He's like, no.
Right. Amazing. Amazing.
And, he was literally parroting some of the things that you'll hear preachers and pastors and apologists say about the Bible, like being this beautiful text that, totally comports to reality. It's this amazing revelation from God, blah, blah, blah. And I understand it enough from both sides to just be like, yeah, that's exactly why you should be a Christian. And he just would not. The stubborn bastard wouldn't convert. I mean, what's wrong?
What's going on with you guys?
But no, it was great. We talked for like 40 minutes, and he was one of the things that was great about, maybe it was just my demeanor plus the sign and being in a public place, but he was like, growing up in Turkey, there are no atheists in Turkey. Not out. Atheists, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Has the social justification the social ability to do what I just did.
Right.
If they did,
too much,
they would be in a load of shit.
Yeah.
They wouldn't. If they're a Muslim, they might be honor killed, but like if they're a Christian, they'd be in a load of shit. They'd have no friends, no purchasing power, whatever. They would be outed to their community and businesses and workplaces. Like, yeah, they would just be totally ostracized in a way that I am never going to experience doing what I'm doing.
Absolutely.
But he was genuinely fascinated. He's like, because in Turkey there aren't really atheists at all that I can just talk to about why they don't believe what I believe. Right. I want to talk to you because I legitimately have never talked to an atheist. Wow. And I'm like, here you go. Like, let's play. Like,
exactly. Let's get into it.
And we talked about like meaning and hope and like, what it would be like if he didn't believe and stuff like that. Oh man, it was just such a good conversation. And I think he left that and he's like, yeah, if I see you again, I'll talk to you again. Right. Like,
and this was the conversation you had today?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So were you out? You were out on the street doing Nitty on the street?
Nitty at Panera.
Nitty at Panera. And have you ever thought about broadcasting this or that changes the whole thing? It changes the whole thing, right? So you can reflect on it, but not broadcast it live. Is that where you're at with it right now?
Yeah. And I find that to be very valuable, though, because it helps people approach me without...
Camera's a deal breaker, yeah, for a lot of people. And also just it raises the stakes so much that a person's on the defensive, especially about something so sensitive. And guys, even from an academic perspective, I did this thing where I had these dialogues between police officers and students, right? I was a big marijuana law reformer. And so I got 6 students to sit down with 6 police officers, 3 local cops, 3 university police officers. I was fortunate enough because of my relationships. The chief of police came himself and the director of the university police came himself. And I did this as part of an independent study that I was doing at Penn State, right? It was a social dynamics thing. It was supposed to be social dynamics in the law, same dating coach shit, but applied to, how to do, public policy type of reform. And so a couple things were really important when I was setting this up with the professor I did. Actually, Sam, my dog, is named after Sam Richards. I did this independent study with Sam Richards' wife. Both of them are sociologists at Penn State. So shout out to Lori Mulvey. So we did this independent study. She's my advisor for it. And there was a couple important ground rules for this discussion. Number 1, I couldn't be there. Oh, it sucked. I couldn't be in the room because the parties knew me on both sides, and it was a deal breaker. It was funny because I came up, which was interesting, but I had to be in a separate room observing, and then I couldn't record it because of the fact that also would have changed their behavior, right? So this is what you're being serious about in this discussion, which is why you strategically don't record it and stuff. Sorry, I just wanted to give that story.
It gives you a level of authenticity that goes over and above the camera, I think, because I'm willing to just I'm doing this free. Like I have no expectations, no potential gains. Absolutely. Because I can't, you guys are hearing me tell the story, so you just got to believe me. Like, that this is how it went. Maybe the Muslim guy punched me in the face.
Yeah. It was the same thing. It was the same thing playing drums at an evangelical church.
Yeah.
I swore I'd never play drums at a church again because too many had screwed me over for money. And too many screwed drummers over for money. And as a person who wanted to be a musical director and play in bands and make money, I was like, I'm not going to do that anymore. But once I started playing at this church again, I said it was okay because I volunteered and everybody's a volunteer. So they weren't screwing me on money. I was choosing to play for free. But once I really started noticing the community building opportunity and how much the community appreciated my playing and how much it opened these doors to conversations about science and, my life and being part of their Bible studies, and they really opened up to me, I wouldn't have even want them to play. I would always have this argument with the pastor. I would say, I don't want you to pay me. I want you to understand why you should pay musicians. Right? I want him to understand philosophically where I'm coming from, why churches need to not take advantage of their volunteers, right? But at the same time, it's okay for me to choose to volunteer because I'm on a team of volunteers.
Yep.
But my point is, to your point, when I had the relationship, especially with the congregants, the fact that I wasn't getting paid. And even though I did eventually say I wanted to stream it and maybe make videos for it, I knew that had to be way later because I needed them to first build relationships with me, knowing, God, this guy works his ass off to prepare for this church. And he's a volunteer, right? And he's not getting anything out of it that we expect somebody in his position to be motivated by.
Well, there's a different dynamic though, right?
Of course. Like, it was just my own way to relate. But yeah.
Because I'm the rando, right? Like
sure.
I may never encounter
yes, absolutely. Man on the street.
Also, not having the camera, right? It takes away the camera adds a potential like future evidence weight, right? Like,
absolutely, and a power dynamic and everything. Yeah.
All that goes away when it's not there, and I find that I have the most gentle and engaged and interesting conversations when it's not there. But I want to see more whiteboards. There need to be more whiteboards. Don't be coward atheists, non-believers.
Yeah, get out
and
there.
In fact, it actually can show the believing crowd that you could want to believe again, right? Like, yes. If you believe that it could be possible that God could reveal himself to you and he could use another person to do that, then do the sign. What do you got to lose? You could have eternal life because Nitty convinced you to get out there with a sign. And then you can tell us all in the atheist community how you encountered this believer and got this fucking awesome proof that Jesus rose from the dead and that we can have eternal life. Do it.
Yeah, I'm actually a fan of this. I think this is honestly really powerful, and I thank you so much for sharing this with us. It's also interesting to me because it's something I think I could maybe try as a tact or have other conversations about faith and belief and stuff like that. Even though, to be honest with you, I sometimes struggle with Islam because I'm not as familiar with it. Therefore I don't know as much about, you know what I mean? It's hard for me to relate the same way. Well, and also I don't care because I find myself far less motivated because I don't feel like Muslims about to knock at my door or something like that. Go ahead.
Sure. But here's what I did with the Muslim, because I lack a significant amount of, I have a lot of exposure to it through David Wood, an apostate prophet, but I don't have the same kind of face-to-face rapport building skills for people in that circle, right? Apostate prophets in my atheist circle. David Wood was in my former Christian circle. And so the ways in which real, on the street Muslim believers operate and communicate their beliefs it can end up being completely different from how, their channels engaged Muslim belief, like the figureheads that are willing to get on YouTube and hit the debate scene, right? And so I just play total ignorance. I go, what do you believe about the Quran? How do you read it? How Muslim are you? And the guy I talked to today, he's like, I'm a Muslim, but I'm not a very good Muslim. I don't do like the prayers. I'm like, oh, you don't do the Salat prayer? And so then I play more cards of what I do know to build that rapport.
I see. Very clever.
Yeah. And he's like, oh yeah, I don't do Salats or,
Right.
Or I'll be like, what's the food like in your country? Do you have like...
Yeah, I want to do this with my mom because my mom's one of these Christians who's not a Christian.
Yeah, and then he's like, well, most places you can't get pork. I'm like, oh yeah, because that's it's not halal. He's like, yeah, because if you eat pork, it's haram. It makes you unclean. I'm like, yeah, and you probably can't even sell it, right? Because that it brings a curse upon the land. So I'm giving these little tidbits that I do know more. But but I want him to say it first, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And he's like, one of the things that they enjoyed too about the conversation, he's like, how do you know all this stuff? Like, why? Like, you just know all this stuff to know all this stuff? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you weren't paid? You didn't go to like a seminary or anything? I'm like, no.
Wow.
I just like I'm just so invested in this part of the discussion of our human existence that
and then it's interesting that they're running around claiming the thing that you happen to know more about, and all you're saying is people should stop believing in this stuff, and that weighs on people too. Somebody asked, why does Jay have multiple channels? Because I'm taking over the internet. Because I'm always in search of a new broadcasting channel. And also, yes, Hunter Biden's laptops is to bait right-wing Christo-fascist nuts, so you subscribe to that. The casino, theater, and arcade is where the cool kids in the inner circle go to kick all the Bible, theology, and political nerds out and actually have fun, because there's this thing called the internet, and you're supposed to use it to have this thing called fun. And you guys, after you work those hard jobs, you guys come home and use the internet to have school and debate Bible study and talk about philosophy. And so I need to escape. I need to run away at the end of the day to the casino, theater, and arcade. Links in the description. All right, so Nitty, go ahead. The floor is yours. Any other thing you want? Because I know you got to get out to the poker crowd. I know Doug wants your money quickly. And I'll get back into the wrestling video when you leave. But go ahead and take the floor for a few minutes. Plug your stuff before you get out of here.
I'm Nidamos, the animated atheist. I create content responding to various Christian apologetics and my former church's take on life in our local community. So go subscribe, go look me up, or we can have fun and bullshit. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's a good time on my channel. Sometimes I have open streams.
It is. And
so,
I have to ask you about something. Do you fall asleep? Is that a thing? People have always accused you of falling asleep on stream. Is this a real thing?
It's happened twice.
Oh, it has happened. Okay.
Yeah, and I have privatized those. So.
Okay, but it's just like you fell asleep. It's not like a thing that happens to you all the time or whatever. You just
I don't have narcolepsy. I just drink too much sometimes.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's all up. Hey, bro, I've had some crazy stuff happen on stream, bro. Yeah. Crazy stuff happen on stream. So it happens.
But yeah, feel free to hit the road on my channel.
Please like and subscribe. We need to support Nidamos. He's amazing. He's amazing. He's brilliant. Also, you're a mod, so you can drop a link. You can drop a link, right?
Yeah. And do the whiteboard.
Do the whiteboard, guys. If you're not going to start a YouTube channel or a blog or a podcast or something like that, the least you could do is grab you a little whiteboard. Yell at some fuck faces. Well, no, I'm kidding. No, make some friends. No. Make some friends at the local coffee shop. Do as I say, not as I do. Don't be like me. Be friendly like Nidamos. Thank you so much for coming through, bro. And
yeah, man.
When you're ready to come crying because Doug took all your money, we'll be here.
All right. Have a good night, Jay.
Later on, bro. All right, y'all. Back to Word Wrestling Entertainment School. Y'all need to understand the philosophy of wrestling because some of y'all are not wrestling fans and some of y'all are just catching up. So to how word wrestling relates to wrestling. So we're going to rewind this thing because we had a little bit of a technical difficulty. We're doing Wrestling Isn't Wrestling. This video is amazing. So we're going to do this. Then I'm going to break down some stuff for you. Then we got some more monologues. Then I don't know. We'll either hang out here or we'll probably head to the casino. So who knows? We'll see.
The audience says, well, we don't like John Cena. John Cena is a newer character at this time. He's basically Superman, and people hate him for all the reasons people hate Superman. He's bland. He wins all the time.
Wins all the damn time.
He's just a goody two-shoes. The character never changes. He always does the same thing. He shrugs off beatdowns and smiles and laughs about it. He takes all of the stakes out of everything because he never...
They said, spoiler, I win. Amazing.
Fucking loses. Triple H says... well, I do have a sledgehammer. Triple H comes out like, hey, John Cena, you suck.
Yep, and all of a sudden, the sledgehammer that everybody hated is fucking over like Rover. Triple H, Triple H, Triple H, Triple H.
I'm the best, right?
Yep, that's wrestling.
Tell me I'm better than Shawn Michaels.
Wrestling.
They're like, well, beat John Cena, we'll think about it. Triple H goes after Cena and he loses. Then Triple H and Shawn Michaels end up going after Cena at the same time and they both lose. You can't beat Superman. But them hanging out a little bit makes Triple H like, hey, Shawn Michaels, we're both like older and like way more mature. And Shawn Michaels is like, yeah. Triple H is like, maybe like together we could be best friends again and like do it where we do the DX
the second
again.
thing? The
Shawn
second
Michaels
thing?
is like, I'm 45 years old. Triple H is like, yeah, but we're best friends. So out they come. But
There
wrestling
it is.
is rated
Yep.
PG.
Yep, that's right. And y'all Pocket Locker is here to remind your ass exactly what the fuck that shit is about. Nigga, you never too old to be anti-hero. You are never too old to be a degenerate. You are never too old to lose your motherfucking mind and make gimmicks and gags with your friends and piss off the boss and make pranks at work because life is short and then you die up in this bitch. So these motherfuckers are like Pocket. They're like back. No, I'm middle-aged? Oh, I got a real job now? Oh, I just finished grad school? Oh, y'all think I'm settle down in the middle age and just retire like a mother? No! Fuck that! Revolutionary time. Suck it, suck it, suck it. Your God's a bitch, and your God sucks. And y'all can kiss my black ass. The only reason I didn't pull my ass crack down is because they censored me for that shit. I don't got a cable deal. But if I had a fucking cable deal, believe it, I could blur that shit out and pull out my pants and they could blur that shit out. And I could tell y'all to kiss my black ass up in this bitch. And you suck, and you suck, and you suck, and live chat, y'all are cool, and you suck, and grad school sucks, and scientists are boring, and biology, your experiments are fucking awful. Evolutionary biologists are fucking trash. Y'all are fucking boring as shit. Suck it, suck it, suck it. I'm starting a cult. I'm starting my own cult. Cult to the fucking Flying Man, Most High Apostle. I'm going to smoke weed and fucking smoke weed and have fun on the internet. Fuck this career. Also, I'm gonna need a tenure track job.
Now, which means they jump out like, poopy caca, fart fart, check out our boogers, we're Generation X. DX is riding high. Triple H is having this moment where people are cheering for him, and that's when Shawn Michaels gets bored. You see, Shawn Michaels is reaching near the end of his career. He wants to do something no one else has ever done, and that's beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania. I see your face. Who is The Undertaker?
Final boss time, y'all. Straight up final boss time.
This is a suspension of disbelief because it's about to take a fucking beating.
He's here.
I like turtles.
The Undertaker is a wizard, a satanic magician, and no, I don't know why he's a wrestler. He was part of this cult when he was a little kid. They sacrificed these 3 little girls. Now he's got this creepy guy, Paul, with him. He has this intense relationship with his demon brother, Kane. It's all pretty fucking insane. And add to that, he commands a cult of hundreds of...
Yeah, you love it. Get the fuck... You love it. Now, who made this fever dream? I don't know. This is amazing. It's called Up to My Knees, y'all. Go sub, y'all. Up to My Knees, y'all. These guys are amazing. Yeah, this is a wrestling fever dream, y'all. This is just so amazing. This is literally wrestling from the Game of Thrones perspective that it's always needed to explain to the normies what's up. And at the same time, it fundamentally addresses how stupid it is when people tell you that wrestling isn't wrestling or wrestling isn't real or all this stupid shit they say to you. You're like, oh my God, do these people go to Les Mis and go, nobody breaks out in song in the middle of a real revolution?
Put in figures.
You know it's fake, right?
There you go. By the way, he was David Arquette was the WCW World Champion because he's a huge wrestling fan. This has all the great wrestling marks and low-key nods to the hardcore ridiculousness of pro wrestling. Like the time David Arquette became the WCW champion.
What matters is that Undertaker has never been defeated at WrestleMania.
It's like drunk history, exactly.
Like,
nah, this is no Nano, not Nano.
He couldn't.
Nidamos came through and dropped this on us, Lena. Nidamos saved this for us. Also, Lena, I got to hit you up because they said they delivered your mic. They said it's in the mail room. But clearly it's not, so we're going to have to figure that out. I got a receipt or whatever. I'm going to send it over to you, and then we'll have to figure out what's up with your mic or get it sent to the right place.
Shawn Michaels is like...
So I apologize for that. I'm apparently a boomer, and I don't know how to use computers, and I probably sent it to some remote freezer in the middle of the wilderness.
Damn it, I feel like I could really beat him if I just had one more chance, you know? Undertaker says, hey. Undertaker
I don't
says,
know who he is.
I will give you another match at next year's WrestleMania, but only if when you lose, you retire from wrestling forever. Shawn Michaels is like, I don't know if I should do that. What do you think, Triple H?
Facts.
Triple H is like, no, it would be so terrible if you left and never came back. That would be the worst. Oh my God. You should do it. You should do it. Why don't you do it? Don't be a pussy. You should do it. Do it. Do it. Shawn Michaels is like, okay, sure. So Shawn Michaels loses to The Undertaker, is permanently retired.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yo, I was about to buy those tights. I'm about to get those tights, y'all. They got crosses on them. See, I like those cross tights. But to be honest with you, I got some much more Wilder Sexy Boy crucifix tights. But I'm going to pick those ones up, too, just to have them in my collection, girl. But don't worry, I ain't going to put all your secrets out there, girl. She just know my secret. She know, she shop at the same place I shop at. I'm going to put it to you like that. Which is appropriate for this pro wrestling video. Y'all fucks with me?
Oh, poor Shawn Michaels.
It's my time, and my dick fell off. What? Don't get it wrong, I don't
exactly.
Drinking champagne, baby.
Out from under the shadow.
You're gonna feel real stupid when I beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania. I'm wasted. Bad. An important thing to remember about Triple H is that he views himself when he looks in the mirror as this warrior knight, Conan destroyer, super badass, unstoppable guy. The fact that he's actually an insecure, cheating, undercutting, manipulative coward, he's kind of blind to. He can't see it. And that's why when The Undertaker...
I don't know what y'all are talking about. I completely can't relate to any of this.
beats him, all Triple H can think about is, but I still got some good hits in though, right?
You know what I'm talking about? Hey, it was fun though, wasn't it?
Sort of.
Yeah,
hey,
you know.
Stop acting like you beat me.
It was fun.
Yeah, but I kinda did, sort of.
Yeah, you know, in a little...
you didn't. Yeah, but I hit you a bunch of times.
I hit you like a bunch of times, bro.
Works. You can't win, just, you lost. Admit that you lost.
Nah.
No.
Nah.
Fight me again then.
Oh, shit.
No. You're not as good as Shawn Michaels.
Nigga, it's on.
I will fight
nigga,
you
it's
anyway.
on. Nigga, let's fight right now. Nigga, we really gotta wait till WrestleMania.
Where I'm allowed to use any weapon I want, my sledgehammer, and the referee is gonna be my best friend, Shawn Michaels.
There we go.
Is like, well, chill it on the best friend. You chill it on the best friend. Triple H is like, you're my best friend. And with Shawn Michaels as the guest referee, access to any weapon he wants.
Yes.
In a match that he chose. Triple H loses to The Undertaker. This is the end of an era.
Oh my goodness, right? And it led to some of the most epic visuals in the history of WrestleMania. So this is them at the end of that match. They all walked up the ramp and had a moment where they all gave respect to each other for putting on one of the greatest WrestleMania performances in the history of the business. So there's them, right? Guys, make me believe it, guys. You shouldn't go through the main event at WrestleMania and then at the end of it, you look like you just been chilling or you just went for a light jog, right? Make me believe it. Right? Make me believe it. These are guys who've just gone to war inside Hell in a Cell, and they finally decided we have sufficiently beat the tar out of each other and dealt with the who's best and who's the ultimate final boss for the era, for the generation. The Undertaker is officially retired Shawn Michaels and then beat Triple H twice, and then this epic moment, you know, 3 fucking warriors are gonna really take a moment to turn around before they walk off into the sunset, turn around and look at this audience and let the audience appreciate the sacrifice we have made all these decades to arrive at this very moment here. And you can see it. Shawn looks worn out, overcome with emotion, can't believe what he's just done, what he's just witnessed, what he's just been a part of. Triple H looks like he is barely alive, because that's how you should look if somehow you are standing, which should take a lot of fucking help after The Undertaker just damn near murdered you in a Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania. And The Undertaker looks bold, triumphant, battle-tested, but nevertheless the victor who is now proved his superiority so much that he can actually give a nod to 2 of the people who have tested him, refined him in the refiner's fire, and he would not be the legend he is today if not for coming through the very proving grounds of WrestleMania against these very 2 men right here. And what were wrestling fans doing? Crying like some bitches. Yeah, we was all home crying. This is the most beautiful shit. This is wrestling. This is the best shit here. So go fuck yourself if you don't understand. And look, they have this so down, y'all. They have this so down that they're emulating that moment, right? With Triple H totally fucked up, HBK with the referee uniform and the crazy tights, but he's now a Christian because he's good Sean and he's matured, right? So now instead of being the sexy boy, he's got the Jesus gimmick going. So they've got all this down, right? And then they've got the Undertaker looking big but trying to hold them up. Guys, these people who did this is mwah.
Triple H is so beaten up at the end of his match that he...
Make me believe it, fuckers!
Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker walk out together in what should be a beautiful moment, the end of 3 careers. Instead,
it's my time.
Triple H uses the fact that he's married to the daughter of the owner of the company to secure a corporate position. That's right. The rebel, the barbarian ass kicker, the guy who could never be tamed. I am the ultimate destroyer, the one true diamond in this industry. I'm also a suit. I'm here to tell you that my wife.
Yep, all of a sudden Triple H became everybody's boss. Triple H went from your designated driver so your drunk ass wouldn't fail to show up at the next town. There's a reason why this world's going to hell. And now all of a sudden he's married the boss's daughter, taking the ultimate post-ring career job, and now puts himself in the position to really be the ultimate final boss on a position nobody in the history of the wrestling business has even literally ever dared to be stupid enough to imagine. Triple H wasn't stupid enough to imagine it. He was good enough to pull that shit off and make it look like he planned it. Maybe he planned it. There's been a lot of suspicion that he's been playing in this shit. This nigga's been playing mind games with the entire wrestling industry, y'all. So when we call him the King of Kings, this is fucking why. When he sits at the top of that iron throne, oh my God. And I want to tell y'all something else that a lot of y'all are not picking up on here. Let me set y'all the record straight about why Triple H isn't considered the ultimate professional. Especially for a lot of you attitude era wuss bags, flag waving phonies who want to talk about he wasn't as good as The Rock. He wasn't as good as Stone Cold Steve Austin or Shawn Michaels, or we was never Hulk Hogan. Or Brock Lesnar. Well, let's talk about that for a second. Because part of what we talk about, what I've been talking to you guys about, is that it's professional wrestling, which means your ass has a job to do and you're paid to do that job, which is why losing and putting over the next man is called doing the job. Mankind's a fucking example. Foley is God. Why is Foley God? Because when the Hell in a Cell moment had to happen, and the Undertaker character, who was the captain of the locker room, when it was time for the Undertaker to take his character to the next level, and we needed him to be put over as the ultimate final boss and finally get his comeuppance and get his paper like he's supposed to, you know what Mankind did? Let him throw his ass off a motherfucking cell. And then after he threw his ass off the cell and literally almost killed that motherfucker, they almost stretched it out. Mankind crawled his ass back into the ring and back up to the top of the cage and fought the Undertaker on top of the cage. And then the Undertaker fucking power slammed, bombed his ass through the cage and onto the mat. Through the cage. Off the cage first, right? Yeah. A lot of y'all would have been done. Y'all would have never survived that shit. Comes back, climbs up the cage, and then gets thrown through the cage onto the mat below. Then works one of the most epic matches ever, getting his ass destroyed over and over again. Like, in other words, that was the beginning of the ass whooping that night. That's called doing the job. Putting someone over, which is why people say Foley is God. So part of the reason Triple H is respected and in a way that nobody else is because say what you want about him, he was never that guy. He was the designated driver of the clique. That's right. He was not the overpaid, underworking, over-complaining, prima donna superstar of the clique. He was the sober, responsible one who made sure they got something to eat, found a fucking gym, stayed in a reasonable place, stopped fucking the groupies at a reasonable time so they could shower, and sobered up in time to be on pay-per-view. That was his job, cleaning up Kevin Nash's shit for a living. Oh, and then when the fucking Mankinds came along and the Stone Colds and the Chris Jerichos and Chris Benoits and Undertakers and the Stone Cold Steve Austins and the Rocks, guess who never failed to lay down and be pinned and do the job when he was asked to? You guessed it, the motherfucking consummate professional, Triple H. So the reason you make him that heel who gets all those title reigns and you make him the transitional champion between all the superstar reigns is because you know he will not fuck you over and try to hold up your multi-billion-dollar business. So now you've got to compare that to Hulk Hogan, who never failed to screw over people, who always convinced people to put Hulk Hogan over, let Hulk Hogan beat them, and then Hulk Hogan disappears and fucks off to make a movie or change companies or cry about his contract, and then never puts over the person he was asked to. Never returns the favor. Let's talk about Stone Cold Steve Austin, who many people, and now he will basically admit, would rather retire than get beat by Brock Lesnar, who's clearly one of the most superior human specimens, the alpha male of this entire fucking species. Go fuck yourself. Right? So let's talk about Shawn Michaels, right, who lost his smile and blase and glavinoids and all of this shit because he never really liked to drop a title on television either. So when people like Triple H are put in this position where they're trusted with the company's business is because the company can trust them to do fucking business. And a lot of these fucking superstars that you think are the fucking heroes are the most unprofessional, inconsiderate, difficult people to deal with on the planet, or at least they were when it was their time in the spotlight. And they failed to forget all the people who laid down for their ass. Failed to remember, rather. And so it's I really do love Triple H because his story of why he was put in those spots as you mature as a wrestling fan and really grow in your depth of appreciation for the business, you understand exactly why he was put in these spots. Even the famous Madison Square Garden incident, which, yes, I'm old. You guys call it the, what do they call this shit now? The curtain call. The curtain call, I think they call that shit or whatever. Basically, Diesel, Razor Ramon were about to go to WCW. Shawn Michaels was the world champion. Triple H was the fourth person in this match. As they're all about to dip, the good guys and the bad guys at the end of the match celebrated live in front of the crowd. And they were all celebrating each other, even though they just beat each other up in a match, and good guys and bad guys weren't supposed to hug in front of the audience and shit. So they did this. It's at Madison Square Garden. It wasn't televised or on pay-per-view, but it was on the internet. The internet went viral. The shit blew up. Everybody in the business head exploded because they just broke kayfabe, which is you don't do this. And so since the two guys were leaving the company, nothing really happened to them because they were out the door, and they couldn't really punish Shawn Michaels because even though he was wrong too and the prima donna and all of this, he was the fucking champion. So you can't really punish the champion. There's too much money riding on his reign right now. And so Triple H, who was scheduled for a lot of big-time opportunities and shit and was having this undefeated streak and this big push and all this shit, all of a sudden lost everything, lost his King of the Ring opportunities, and he was just losing everything, right? And so then he finally gets a hold of a little run and builds up. I think he got the European title. Then eventually he got the Intercontinental title, right? A mid-card titles. They started to give him mid-card titles, let him get more responsibility, show you how responsible he is. And again, as he's getting, hey, dude, we need you to fucking lay down and lose that Intercontinental title, whatever the fuck, to the returning Ultimate Warrior in 30 seconds. Or I don't think that was a title match, but it was a WrestleMania or SummerSlam match, whatever the fuck it was, big-time match. He gets his ass whooped in 30 seconds to make the Ultimate Warrior look good. He's always getting his ass whooped, right? And so the company realizes this guy is professional. He does business. He is never going to screw us over. And so he earns that reputation all the way through his professionalism, and so he keeps getting put in this spot every time they need somebody responsible to be the heel, put over the next guy, bring up the next level of talent, put this mid-card tag team and X-Pac over again. We got this China monster, get her some heat so she can become a big fucking superstar. And Shawn Michaels disappears. Well, who's ready to pick up and carry the thing with the new cast? Triple H. You want the title to get from Stone Cold Steve Austin to The Rock, but Stone Cold Steve Austin doesn't want to lose to The Rock unless it's the biggest shit at WrestleMania, and he won't go along with the business and blah, 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 blah. All right, you have Triple H cheat. Triple H beats him. The Rock whoops fucking Triple H's ass. He gets the belt, and now Austin can chase The Rock again. Right? They call it being a transitional champion. Eventually, you have enough of them transitional title reigns to call you one of the best ever.
You're all in big trouble. But this is almost the perfect position for him. No longer an active wrestler, Triple H is closer to the title than he'd be holding.
Oh, hang on a shit. Let's get y'all back to view. That was the rant, y'all. Part about what y'all want to appreciate is why would you put this guy of all the other guys, right? He doesn't have the famous last name. He's not at the... Notice who I didn't include in that list. The Rock, right? Dwayne Johnson. You never had these professionalism issues with Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Only issues we ever had with Dwayne The Rock Johnson was the Click and DX refused to put his ass over when he was coming up. But you never had this issue with him, although he did not ever want to work with Shawn Michaels. And he had his reasons because Shawn Michaels refused to fucking help him out. But Shawn Michaels refused to work with him when he wasn't a star. And so when he became a star, he was like, I see no need for me to work with Shawn Michaels. And he was absolutely dignified in that position. But The Rock always did business, right? Because he came from this family lineage. He comes from a royal family of professional wrestling. So he knows there's absolutely zero tolerance for any sort of unprofessionalism, which is why to this day they call The Rock back when they need a spot, because they know he will show up out of honor for the business, and they know he will do whatever he's asked to do, no matter how much time it takes or what he's got to sacrifice or if he's got to step away from something. If he can, he will.
See, he gets to choose who fights for it. And Triple H is so insecure.
Dwayne,
and so
cough, exactly, Molly. You already know.
That he is constantly interfering with real wrestlers because he can't let it go. He never proved that he was good enough. So I'll tell you one last story, and it's about a guy named Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan was this little scrappy, weird, vegan, sort of like almost hipster gnome. He yells the word yes. People fucking love him. They love him so much. And you know what? I don't blame them. There's something great about Daniel Bryan. He's not the best actor, but sometimes in wrestling that doesn't matter. When you have enough heart and a weird enough face, you can reach the top of this industry. The fact that Daniel Bryan is competing against guys like Randy Orton, Triple H's former protege, and Batista, another Triple H creation, pisses Triple H off. Because when Triple H sees Daniel Bryan, he sees a guy who isn't good enough. When Triple H sees Daniel Bryan, he sees Triple H. Get the fuck out of here! You are not a commercial champion, you're an ugly little gnome and I hate you and you'll never get a title match. Triple H ends up repeatedly interfering in this guy's career, trying to shut him down.
This is bullshit! This is bullshit! Get the bricks!
Brick City, we get down like
He
this.
says, okay, you know what? At WrestleMania right now, the main event is Batista versus Randy Orton. But if you can beat me, the game, the King of Kings, the ass kicker at WrestleMania, Daniel Bryan, you can be in the main event. You'll have to beat the 3 toughest guys in the company in one night.
That's right.
Fuck you.
That's right.
And Daniel Bryan
And it's
does
never
it.
gonna happen.
He beats Triple H real easy.
And guys, you want to talk about an epic night. Again, Triple H, what is he doing? He's making himself the final boss. I've reset the table. I will not have this upstart Daniel Bryan become the champion. Oh, you think you will overwhelm me with fan support and organic homegrown talent that everybody loves and wants to see become a superhero? Not on my watch, young man. Right? And so he literally sets him up. Oh, yeah, well, if you even want to get into this match in which you'll just get your ass whooped because these 2 other people are going to be whooping your ass, first you're going to have to go through me myself. And so he starts WrestleMania off, which gives Daniel Bryan the chance to come out, start the show, everybody. Yes, we're getting behind the Daniel Bryan. And oh my God, Daniel Bryan does it. He does it. Could this really be the night? It can't be. No, the WWE, they're just going to set us up. But holy shit, he beat Triple H. And so now you know Daniel Bryan's going to come back in the main event and probably get his ass whooped and not win. But that's what the WWE, they set you up and then, hey, your hero guy, he doesn't actually win in the end. But it looked there for a little bit like he might, and that makes the other guys look good.
Then beats Orton and Batista and an audience of 20,000.
What? They didn't fuck us over? What? They gave the fans what they want? What? The good guy won? What? Triple H was smart enough to actually listen to the fans and actually used himself as a fucking stepping stone to make our hero an even bigger hero, and then he put him over the 2 biggest main eventers, and we somehow made the fucking epic win of our hero at fucking WrestleMania somehow even more epic than all the previous epic WrestleMania wins of all the heroes that came before him. Holy shit, this Triple H guy's pretty smart.
1,000 people yells yes, 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 as Triple H responds by crying on the floor.
Yeah, obviously, I lost the belt.
On.
It's over. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck each and every fucking one of you that sat out there and said, I can't wait till somebody beats Jay for his United States Championship of World Wrestling Entertainment, and then they'll finally stop hearing about it. You can go fuck yourself. You're basically wishing for my demise in the ruin of my soul and the crushing of everything that is sacred to me. So I'm not a fan, and I don't care if you unsubscribe and put the thumbs down to this video, because I don't like you either.
The thing about wrestling, it doesn't end. But that's the thing about life, too. And yeah, I left stuff out, but you don't remember everything. Humans crave melodrama. They crave fiction. When you're sitting alone and texting, it's because you're bored. Our imagination is our greatest gift and our greatest curse because we're bored all the time. And that's what fiction does for us. It gives us a sort of simulator for bigger stories and bigger emotions. That's what Lord of the Rings is. That's what Phantom of the Opera is. That's what Goodfellas is. That's everything. It's us watching and feeling, the human capacity for empathy through imagination. That's why we have stories. Triple H is a great character in fiction, told over 2 decades.
And an unbelievable man and human being from what everybody tells us, right? He is literally just an unbelievably great person who everyone considers fortunate to know. And even though he's made his mistakes along the way and buried some people and he's human, right? You know, the people now who he's mentoring and helping this next generation consider him unbelievable. And currently, with Vince stepping down, he stepped in as the new sort of head of the company, and people are just super excited about wrestling again. All of the recent things that people got excited about in recent years were really a product of his vision for making new stars and really making the WWE product great again. And so far, he's been fucking knocking it out of the park. So again, he's just writing that next chapter in such an unbelievable way. After, of course, he's survived a very recent health scare, but he's doing well. Again, his wife is stepping up with him, so Stephanie's now got a new role in there. You know, it's, oh God, the saga continues.
A snob who had a chip on his shoulder that he could never let go and just wanted to be the best, but never could be that without cheating. Finally selling out to the point that if he can't be the champion, he'll choose the champion. And that's what you need, man. That's what we all want. From Long John Silver to Perseus to Neo to Walter White. We love watching people grow, change, struggle. Good people, bad people, we don't care. We want to see it, man. We need entertainment and we need it now. And when you watch wrestling, that's what you get. Now don't get me wrong, a lot of wrestling sucks. But when it's good, it's fucking great. Wrestling is melodrama. Wrestling is mythology. Wrestling is action. Wrestling is comic books. The only thing wrestling isn't is wrestling.
Wrestling is life, motherfuckers. Get used to it. Welcome to the cult of the flying man. Your linguistic fucking mind has been hijacked by the motherfucking atheist apocalypse.
You know wrestling's fake.
It's predetermined, son.
I'm gonna fuck that little kid up. He should have speared his ass.
Here, you can use that for your video, and I won't come kill you.
Boy, you better spear that son. If you're Goldberg and you don't fucking spear your son and then jackhammer his ass when he needs some fucking discipline. And speaking of word wrestlers. Is this for today? 24th? I don't know. Let's see. Let's go. Let's see. I think so. Gin and Truth. Also, I got to bring my food in, y'all. My food's in. Yeah, let's do. Let's do this. Ben Shapino. Guys, I got to bring my food in real quick, so I'm going to bring my food in. We're going to start this out, gang. All right, gang? Let's jump into this, gang. Look, I got my fluffy dog here, guys. Let's get some fucking Gin and Truth going, guys. Podcasters, hang with me. YouTube, you're up and running. Now, is this straight gin? Huh? Or is there water in this? Guess below. But don't really, because if you do, I won't respond to you.
All right, gang, let's jump into this shit. Let's get some fucking alcohol. Uncle Bobby's on the brown kick right now. Now Uncle Bobby's hitting a little bit of that Knob Creek. Have you tried it?
I have. I love it.
Shit is delicious.
Very true.
Damn it. Gang, let's jump into today's bullshit. Gang, today we're going to talk about fuckface Ben Shapiro. Now, right off the bat, I'm not going to lie, it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a challenge for me not to make a whole bunch of jokes about how tiny Ben Shapiro is. I'm going to try and stay on topic, but this is going to be a very small task. When you're 6'3", everyone else is usually pretty short, but Ben Shapiro is short, very short. And I have to bring that up, gang, because you want to know why I have to bring that portion up. Fuckface Ben, first and foremost, Ben Shapiro, I don't think this fucker realizes that he is a joke unto himself. Fuckface Ben Shapiro is the joke and the punchline on two legs. I have never seen someone self-own so many fucking times. Again, I have told y'all before, the ones who kind of stereotypically meet under the belt, professional. The people who stereotypically meet the definition of alpha man are usually the ones least likely to use the phrase alpha man. I actually just told someone last week, and as of this morning today at work, the most sensitive people you know are the ones that have the broadest shoulders. I guarantee it, right? Again, as much as I almost hate to say this, people who look like me are the ones who are least likely to call themselves an alpha man. Oh no, but not fuckface Ben Shapiro. That tiny little motherfucker, all 5'1" of them, you know, fucking 5 pounds soaking wet. Him, Michael Knowles, Matt Walsh. Think it, your ability to grow facial hair, yeah, that does not make you an alpha man, right? Again, when he sat there and he went in on Sarah Fuller, the college football player, and all this other stuff, but if you don't get your monkey ass down, again, shut up. Again, if I were just to sit there and describe each one and then tell me which one was a boy, which one was a girl, you're already wrong. Because if I sat here and told you college football player, actually, you know, trend-setting, record-setting, literally a record-setting football player at Division I at the University of Colorado, one of the most recognized, you know, college football programs in the country, yeah, that's one category. Over here, you've got high-pitched, skin-tight jean-wearing, fast-talking, plays the fucking violin, right? Which one of those is the boy and which one is the girl? Congratulations, you're wrong, right? No, but his monkey ass is going to sit here and lecture everyone else about alpha man this, alpha man that, blah, 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 blah. Now, gang, I have looked up, because I hate myself, you know, some of Ben Shapiro's movie reviews, because I don't know why. Sometimes I agree, sometimes I don't. Blah, 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 blah. Ben Shapiro reviewed The She-Hulk. Now, gang, I have yet to see The She-Hulk, but I guarantee you I'm going to see the fucking She-Hulk. And let me tell you the reason why. My first 3 crushes, and this is true, as a child, Daphne from Scooby-Doo, Princess Leia, the third, the She-Hulk. Now, I think I'm kind of saving myself for watching the She-Hulk because, gang, I got to get my mind right, I'm definitely going to be alone. I'm going to get a smoker's jacket, right? Maybe crack open some Dom Perignon, light some candles. This will be my first time alone in a room with the fucking She-Hulk. I don't know what to expect, and I don't give a shit. I mean, how do you not lust after an 8-foot-tall, unlimitless strength woman with unchanneled fucking anger issues? Yeah, fuck yeah. And when I'm about 10 minutes into the first episode, I'm going to have some Barry White playing in the background. Oh, it's naughty time. Oh, you can believe that. So yeah, I'm going to fucking watch the She-Hulk. Absolutely. But fuckface Ben Shapiro has a video and it's entitled She-Hulk is Complete Garbage. Where's Buddy going? Hold on. Let's get Buddy. Hold on. Yep. So I got some feedback. So this guys have to get up. Robert, thanks a lot. Don't talk when I'm away from my microphone. When I was on the Tesla, shit, gang, I could be clear across the fucking street. You guys could still hear me. When on this new one, not so much. Is he going to show up? I think he's looking for me. Buddy, get your lucky ass up. All right. Say hello to your public, buddy. Hey, buddy. Okay. So, yeah, let's just roll this fucked up ass tape and listen to what fuckface Ben Shapiro has to say about my future ex-wife, the She-Hulk. You know it's going to be fucked up because it's coming out of the mouth of fuckface Ben Shapiro. Gang, roll the tape.
Disney continues apace. So, remember that time that they used to make comic book movies that were fun and didn't lecture you on woke garbage? Remember that? Isn't that nice?
Pause the tape. That didn't take long, 13 fucking seconds. He can go fuck himself. Okay? Do you remember when cartoons didn't lecture you and, promote woke garbage? Okay. Maybe it's by virtue of the fact that I'm older than Tiny Tim here. Let me tell you something. There's nothing true about what he just said, right? Gang, cartoons have always had social messaging. Always, right? Be it manners, don't forget to drink your milk, go to bed, get plenty of sleep, exercise, There's always been a message tied to cartoons. Always, right? You guys remember fucking G.I. Joe? Holy shit, right? At the end of every G.I. Joe, what would happen, right? It'd be, again, respect your mom, respect your dad, go out and exercise every day, tell the truth, blah, 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 blah. Then whatever kid that G.I. Joe was talking to, it's like, thanks, G.I. Joe. Now I know. What would G.I. Joe say? And knowing is half the battle. Yo, Joe. Every single time. This is nothing new. But if you don't get your monkey ass down and make up your goddamn mind. What else? Oh, the Super Friends. Right? Oh, me and my sister loved the Super Friends. That was got to be one of our favorites. Goddamn. But at the end of every fucking Super Friends on Saturday morning cartoons, there was a message. Again, be it exercise, be it diet, be it about respect, honesty. There was always a fucking message. You know the one that I remember? Motherfucking Aquaman. Right? How fucking useless was the 70s Aquaman? Wasn't the Jason Momoa sexy motherfucker look? No. They were just fucking, dude, you're fucking useless, right? There's not a fucking ocean around. What are we fighting fucking New York, smack down in the middle? You're fucking useless, right? But the message at the end of that one, I remember, was what to do. Now, gang, I bullshit you not. This was 1978. It was what to do if there was a piece of dirt in your eye or something, right? And Aquaman taught us. You take your top eyelid, you fold it over your bottom eyelid. It makes natural tears and it'll dislodge whatever you got in your eye.
Yeah, I thought Tux was doing good backstage too, y'all. Myron, yeah, he was doing really great backstage, man. He was awesome. Yeah, Tux was doing dope, but lately he just hasn't been showing up. He's just been kind of hanging out, lurking, and I think he's lurking jerking. Kind of, I know he's the first pastor, so when he kind of lays the theology on people, they be learning a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? They be learning a lot of shit from Tux, but lately, I think he's been slacking off, playing poker and shit. I think he's hooked on cars, maybe having financial troubles, because Pine Creek is probably exploiting his ass and shit. Yeah, that's why we don't play poker with that Pine Creek. I like my money, you know what I'm saying, Myron? I be trying to tell these niggas up here, I like my money, you know what I'm talking about? That's why the stacks we keep them around here, you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know what the fuck happened to Tux, though. He cool, though. I wish he would come on a bit more, though. The crowd seems to like his ass, but you know me, if the crowd like your ass, I don't really want you on that much, you know what I mean? Because it's my show and shit, you know what I mean? Like, I'm the star, but Why is Tux back here? Myron, you ain't telling me people can hear me? Knowing this nigga could just let himself on my show and shit? Oh, Myron Bot, you done fucked up. You done fucked all the way up. What up, Tux? How you doing, baby?
Hey.
Sorry to have your entrance ready. I just was using the restroom. I put my robe on. I was working on a skit back here, saying some jokes that are definitely not true. Definitely not how I feel. Definitely, yeah. We working on a little skit. Don't worry about that, Tux. It's just a little, little comedy thing we cooking up.
I just finished up playing with Doug. I did have a very good night.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. I expect a really nice super chat later. No.
That's right. Are you eligible for what?
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm kidding. We can't get super chats. Okay, we ain't got that many viewers.
I would make every attempt to be your $10 first. Maybe even 20.
I appreciate that. We only 300 out of we only need 700 more subscribers. We'll be there in no time, y'all.
Yeah.
All right, look, before we have some fun with Tux or whatever the fuck is going on in this show real quick, let's have some communion up in this bitch. Blase Glavinoids, pastoral responsibilities. See, Tux is here. When Tux showed up, I was anticipating it, so I had my vestments on because Tux showed up. I was like, holy shit, Jay, if you don't do the communion shit and lead a little ritual or some shit, Tux is going to be like, bro, we supposed to do that ritual every time you go live, bro, or else we don't get that 501c3, bro. We got to be like the Catholics up here. Catholics have mass every day. The Catholics have communion every day, We gonna be the universal church of the flying man up in this bitch. Tux, I'm doing my duty, bro. I'm being responsible. I had communion prepared. I was just getting to it, y'all. All right, no bullshit. Y'all know the drill.
I have nothing. I have empty bottles. But I would like to do is I would like to make an attempt to take the Indian head flask. And I have empty bottles that I've gathered around from mostly myself, but one of my neighbors is a contributor. I have this empty bottle. It's an Asahi beer bottle. I have this whiskey bottle. This one's empty. So I have this whiskey bottle that's empty. And I got my Nalgene bottle. My Nalgene bottle's empty. And I'm going to take these bottles that I've collected, and I'm going to pray with the door closed. I'm going to pray with the door closed that it becomes Pappy Van Winkle 23 Familia. So that
y'all see that? Y'all see the reality of black men in America? You could be educated, you could have a job, university responsibilities, but what happens? Your white boss just rolls through your shit and be like, I don't gotta take care of none of your responsibilities. So look, I just finished playing cards with my friends, blew like your whole rent payment or something, but I got a little change back, no big deal. All right, so I'm off to Cancun. I'm gonna be on vacation. I'm gonna be gone for a little while. I gotta head down to the airport. Oh, yeah, but your ass better do that motherfucking work you said you was responsible for, or else, I will not be authorizing the forwarding of your check this week. So you might be able to just run out of alcohol without consequences, but my black ass has work to do up in this shit. You know what I mean? Hang on before my black ass is on the fucking food stamps and shit again. Raise your glasses and hold on to your asses. Sorry, Rebecca. There's we're doing church things. Through him, with him, in his skirt. Sorry, y'all. Sorry, Tux. I gotta go. Gotta put you on not on camera right here because I gotta get the worship team. The musical director just hit me on the secret ultra secret channel and said, Bro, you ain't even tell the worship team it was communion time, and so the worship team ain't ready. All right, yes, y'all robes look very good. I don't know who decked y'all robes out to look just like mine, but with the flying man decal and shit on them. But I really like them. We should really get the people to put y'all on camera. But around here, we just keep it real around here. We're a legit church, right? We do legit atheist worship, and so. As fly as this motherfucking choir and church looks right now, right? The choir and the pipe organ is really meant to be heard and not seen. You feel me, Brother Tux?
Yeah.
You feel me, brother Tuck? So
I feel it.
Even though they look amazing, you know, we have to keep them in their proper role so they don't distract from the spirit of doubt, you know? We can't have people just mesmerized by the choir visually and shit, you know? That's a distraction from communion. All right, y'all. So here we go.
You know what's better?
Go ahead.
You know what's better than, do you know what's better than flowers on the altar?
What's that? Weed?
Tulips on the organ.
What'd you say on the organ? Tulips
on the organ.
Oh, bro, I thought you was going to say like something about like Tulip. So is that her name, you know? Autumn on the organ, you know?
No, you missed it. Let me say it again.
Can we get that melody on the organ? Go ahead.
You know what's
Tulip
better?
on the organ. There you go. See, there you go. I got you.
On that note, I'm going to go brush my teeth.
And a happy Titan Uranus to you as well, you know?
Bad boy.
All right, you are a bad boy. We like that. You know, hey, guys, this is, you know, you have to respect that. This is our religious freedom. You know,
right.
We're religious atheists. We just want to sin. You know, all right, so sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Let's get going with our communion.
Yes.
Please raise your glasses and hold on to your asses.
Yes.
Through him, with him, in the unity of the flying man. All glory and honor is yours who fly for our sins forever and ever. You may drink. Oh, that's how you do communion right there. Oh, I can feel the spirits. Oh, yeah. Oh, the spirit of God is in this place tonight. Oh, yeah. Did y'all just tune that pipe organ or something, man? That shit sounded
that's beautiful.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Of course, y'all, that's just the communion hymn. That's how we initiate the communion ritual and the blase and the glavinoids. Now we have the communion song, which is where you catch a vibe, you do all that stuff. What do you do, dog? Well, first you got to really break that bread. Sorry, bread of life. It's no pun intended, but you got to break that bread. That y'all know what that means. That means smoke that weed. And here's the marijuana interlude. It comes to us from the album LaGuardia, and you get it at itsairplanemode.com.
I've fallen in love with this song.
Thank you. I'm really glad you have. Shout out to Cuz OG Roddy in the house. Oh yeah.
Airplane mode. Ready for takeoff?
Start my morning every day with her. In the afternoon I lay with her. In the evening I'ma stay with her.
Yeah.
I am in love. I ain't even tripping, but them say she a drug, cause she hear everything for me. In the morning hit her faithfully. At least a dub when we touch. No one falling in love. I ain't even tripping, cause she the one I could trust. Even bring her out on dates with me. See my mama new place with me. She hold me down on the days when I ain't feeling too up. I ain't even tripping, cause she with me in the clutch. I go all out the way for you.
That G-Funk, baby.
I even took her on a plane, but she ain't even a drug. Some say I'm tripping, but they ain't even in love. In the morning I might lay with you. In the afternoon I play with you. But I know I'm never tripping. The signs say I'm in love. Mary Jane is different, cause she ain't even a drug. She be there every day for me. She my sweet Mary Jane shorty.
Yes, y'all get it. It's the ultimate counter-apologetic. You confess, I just want to sin. You confess, I doubt everything. You confess, I'm a human and I value humanism. The sacraments are sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It's the ultimate counter-apologetic. You tell these people the motherfucking truth. Simply put, atheists have more fun. Oh, they don't want to deal with it. That's the one that hurts the most. When you get that atheist community, you still got the friends. You still got that fellowship. You still got that hope, meaning, and purpose. Oh, communion gets better. Fellowship gets better. Non-worship of whatever you feel like worshiping for the sake of the fun of it. Self-adoration. Touching your body. And touching everybody. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's how we do it. That's how. Now that's just. Hey. Look. You happen to show up to our church. We let you in the door, and we were in the middle of our communion ritual. So if you ain't like it, that's kind of on you. All right. So let's see here what we got over here. We got my main man, the lead pastor Tux. Tux, what's on your mind tonight? What do you want to talk to the people about?
Oh, I wasn't planning on talking to anybody. I was just gonna go
Tuck's
brush the teepers,
tipsy.
you know what? I haven't had anything to drink tonight. I'm high on poker winnings.
High on high on money.
Yeah. I'm naturally this drunk when I'm playing with Doug on the pokers.
That gospel
that's
of
right.
atheist prosperity.
Yes, the atheist prosperity. That's right. Send your money to Doug.
Y'all already know. Links in the description.
Links in the description.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, how come we can see y'all? So, how come we can see y'all cards? So there's a 10-minute delay on Pine Creek Poker's channel.
Oh, that's smart. That's the way to go. That's the way to go. That's the way to go.
You
Good
can
guys.
see
Good.
how
Yes.
we play.
I like that. That's how you solve a problem. You don't let the issue ruin your jam, right? You just say, is there a solution for this that could make us try to make both of these things? And I wanted to steal that. And here was my thing with that, right? You know me how I get when I think I have an idea, right? The thing is, like, I just want somebody to give it a shot, right? And so if it's like, y'all, let me do this. Y'all, let me do this. Y'all, let me do this. Because I learned this with music and just different shit in life, right? Sometimes they have somebody in mind, they really want to do it. And if you, like, keep reminding them, at least they remind you, it reminds them that people think this would be cool. And so you guys were like, well, we got a guy, he used to do it, and then people were complaining about the blase and the flavonoids, and then there was this and that, and so we said we're going to do it, right? And then more people were like, yeah, I'd watch Pine Creek Poker. right? And so eventually y'all got together or whatever, and eventually it was like, yeah, let's put a 10-minute delay on it and do it or whatever. And so then you're like, good, that's a win. It's a win-win, right? It got done. Somebody's going to do it. Let's try it. Let's see what happens, right? Now it's out there. That shows you could do other stuff. He'll do Pine Creek Poker. We'll do the arcade. James will do the health thing. Cameron will do the fitness thing, you know, and like, let's all get out here and do some other shit because man cannot live on Counter-Apologetics alone, you know?
Yeah. So, yes, I believe they do. Cameron asks, so we're watching you guys 10 minutes behind. So when we start the game, there's a 600-second delay on the stream. So it streams off of an iPad, I believe. Yeah.
So you can't even come close to stream sniping each other or whatever. Usually enough time for like a whole hand or something to be behind or something.
3 on average. I'd probably about 3 hands, maybe 4 behind.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. That's good. So, and I like that because my club, I've gone off on my club recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they love everybody to promote and put the club out there and they want to recruit, right? And so they're constantly doing this thing that I don't think is smart at all, which is trying to turn the gaming club into like a high pressure sales gig. So how many hours did you spend trying to recruit random people this week? Yeah, well, I don't know. Like if you, right? And I'm like, this is not the approach to go, right? Like let the club do fun stuff. And then at the same time, go ahead.
Answer to Cameron's question is we all have to agree to show our cards, and the guest, there's a guest, if you notice on the screen, and keep in mind I'm not looking at it at the moment, so it might not show it, but it'll show over above the chat. It'll say one guest viewing, and that guest is the iPad streaming. So it should show everybody's hand as they're dealt.
And that's smart. You guys got to find an app that does that, and everybody's got to do the damn thing and all the shit, right?
I think they use OBS on the iPad, and
that's a good look. That's a good look. Also, bro, don't use OBS for your podcast.
Me?
Yeah,
okay.
no, don't do that.
I've been trying to use it, and it's not working.
No, just use another Restream, or better yet, probably like. Nah, I like I think Restream, bro. If you go independent Restream or StreamYard, whatever the fuck, but Restream, you can go multiple platforms and integrate, and I think ultimately it's smart because long term you got bigger things to do. You know, website integration, memberships, integrating with your social media so that as you're doing social media, it's easy to just be live there. If people find you that way, they find you that way. All types of different stuff. So that's why I like Restream. And then, yeah, it's like, the call-in thing or whatever. But as you know how to work it now. You know what it looks like. You know how it all goes. And then you're just good, right? Because you want people to call in. So what OBS does is it gives you a lot more features and fancy shit you can do, but you got to set it all up manually and manually position and resize every source and refresh them when shit goes down and all this fucking shit. Like it's a bitch, right? It's a more full-featured broadcasting software, but it gives you a bunch of shit you don't really need if you're just trying to do a podcast, maybe play some clips from time to time, and just get people to call in and chat with you.
How should I do it then? My MacBook Air, going to a dongle, going to
Restream until you come to me and say, Jay, here's this thing I want to do. I can't do in StreamYard or Restream.
How do I just play a video that I want to screen?
When you're the broadcaster, you won't have this problem.
I won't.
No.
So no, that's not true. Well, I've been trying to use OBS too, but still.
Or worst case scenario, you got a good job, right?
I have a good job.
Yeah,
I have a good job.
I'm gonna hook you up. Let's go for real with your audio setup, bro. Let's get you a real mixer.
Yeah.
Because for me,
I was thinking about getting a mixer.
Yeah,
it's
I'd
only
rather do it. Yeah, exactly.
Decent.
I'd rather go manual. Yeah, I do my own sound, and then you learn that skill, and it's easy because you actually have real sources. Like the only time I ever have a sound issue or a device issue, like you saw today with the fucking capture device or whatever, it was the computer. It's a USB issue on the computer. That's why I'm getting rid of the computer, right? Like I don't have really for real sound issues. I did for a little while, but that's because I kept having to run everything in through the potato, the voice meter thing I was talking to you about, which I do recommend for people, especially when you have a simple setup. But I had too much going on, and that was kind of an issue. But anyway, now I don't, because everything is I have dedicated sources for everything. So it's really nice, and then I have everything, and then you can get a little smooth. You guys know I do fade ins and outs when I'm not being lazy. I have mute buttons to punch things in and out, and all of that. Yeah. So yeah, it's really nice.
So Cameron's asking a question. I don't quite understand it. It says know the person.
No.
Cameron choose who? Oh, I know what you're talking about. He's talking about the thing. So that's actually automatic. Whoever's talking or making.
There are ways to do that. Yeah, it's threshold determined. Yeah,
it's threshold determined. Whoever's talking on the side is the one. So.
And does it just stay on them until it's somebody else or
somebody else? Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
And then if it's
voice
mute?
meter is and then you can mute somebody and then it won't show them, but the iPad's not going to be muting anybody.
Right. Okay. Who is somebody who's controlling the iPad?
Reed Reed is the one with the top hat.
And is he doing any commentary?
No, it should be just. Oh,
you guys talking to each other?
Yeah, we are all talking to each other.
So it's table talk.
Yeah, it's table talk, talking atheism, talking. Honestly, the dominating conversation tonight was about education, I'd say.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Overall.
So my thing is, I always wanted to do like broadcasting type stuff. So for me, I've grown up thinking a lot about broadcasting, right? And there's a lot of different roles on a broadcasting team. So something that's really interesting to me is I can jump into something like esports, and I don't know a goddamn thing about the game I'm watching.
Mm-hmm.
But I know, maybe I've never even seen it before. But I know enough about like broadcasting to like be like, oh, it's about to be the commercial part between rounds, and this is when they're gonna analyze the match that just happened, talk about the shit that just came up, and probably plug the sponsors. And so I used to do this shit with a lot of different things. Like I used to hang with these like UFC cats, and we do these competitive tournaments. And when we started doing these broadcasts, there was really a need for somebody who could balance like putting a scorecard on the screen and cutting in and going and telling the fighters, hey, it's your turn to do and get ready to do this. And then, all right, now that the fight's over, let's go back between rounds and summarize what just happened and hype up all the motherfucking people, and then do the thing where we follow through the tournament and pull that shit up and be like, all right, and this is what's going on, and blase, 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 and flavonoids, and then we're ready for the next batch, and then, all right, back to you guys, and change motherfucking scenes, and back to you, And so it was, like, dope because I just took some dudes who were, like, really dope at that game and could, like, fucking give you the most fun fucking hardcore commentary about what was going on. We put a little cash on the line with the tournament, right? And then I was just doing the broadcast magic, right? And so it was just super fucking dope, right? And so I work on that, and like that's why I like doing the arcade. I try to sit in the studio and sit here and like work on my, broadcasting and dealing with the stream and all that stuff like some of those guys got to do. So yeah, there's all that stuff, right? And then that's but yeah, so that's what I was originally thinking about trying to do, was like take that, and then because that's what made poker great, right? Was that all of a sudden they realized you could take the micro cameras, put them around the table, right? You could see the hands, and they probably did the same thing where I guess people had to show it or whatever so they could, but they've always got those little cameras right around the tables or whatever, and then they're fucking, sitting there, and you can hear them talking to each other and all this type of stuff. And then you've got the broadcasters, paying the bills, as we say, with all the, the banter and the filling the dead air and letting you know how amazing these players are and where you can follow them and why these are the fucking most credible motherfuckers in the history of playing poker that everybody plays every but anyway, that's what made it great, right? And that's what led to that revolution in poker as television, right? Yeah.
So yeah, Cameron, if you're watching, I don't know if you're watching it on a phone or if you're watching it on a computer, but I can see if it's right down at the very bottom under about at the screen I'm looking at, it looks like it's about 2.5 inches below my picture or whoever's picture is up there. Right at the very bottom, it'll say the name of who's on the screen, and then you can see it in the thing. Originally, this program was designed to have our camera within those rectangles that has our information.
Oh yeah.
And the server or the software that they were using to do that expired, and they couldn't get the rights back to it.
Okay.
And so it basically jumped to this style that's a little bit like the Zoom style.
Sure.
On the side, it basically just goes on the side. Now there's we can select 2 different ways, actually 3 different ways, but one's very similar to this. You can just put it strictly on, for instance, if you want to put it on Colby, you can just put it on Colby. Or you can put it where it just does this cycle, whoever's got the best audio. And
Okay.
then the default one is where it's all of us, but it only shows, the top 5 or 6. And everybody's view is different on what the top 5 or 6 are. So it wouldn't show everybody in the thing. It'll only show
So
roughly
you could
6
do this.
of the
You could do
10.
this the way you want with Restream.
Yeah.
I mean, for the most part.
I mean, this is the best view to
So
get
what you
everybody.
can do is it's very easy to select. I mean, the full screen button, right? For the sources.
Yeah.
So you have that, and then you have the other views where I don't know, you wouldn't be able to like turn each other's camera off, which would probably be good, just everybody's on camera, right? And then you could go to whichever view you want and then manually choose who's primary, like you do now with when I'm broadcasting, which is why I like to do that shit, because then other people don't have to do it. It's like if you ever watch the Joe Rogan show, right? You want a Jamie. You want a motherfucker who's like behind there doing all the juggle shit. And then that was my pitch to Derek, was because I use Restream, let me host some of these panel discussions that you're going to do. Like the one he did like recently that everybody loved with the rationality rules, Pausia.
Yeah.
And,
Testify.
No.
Yeah, Testify,
no.
Kyle.
Nope.
No.
Apologia, rationality rules, Nate from Digital Gnosis, and Derek.
Yes.
I've been
That
talking
was today.
Yeah, yesterday. I've been talking to Derek about.
I think.
No, it was definitely yesterday. I was talking to Derek about.
Not drank and slept enough.
All right, so I was talking to Derek about how I can go live on 8 sources with the Restream. So, if he lets me host it, then we could just be live on everybody's channel at once. So then you can like just kind of make it easier to.
And then you would want me in the background, just cycling through stuff, doing the producing.
We could. That would be dope, because then we could show them our fucking workflow. But nah, I mean, I want you on.
In the business, we used to call that person the stew.
I wanna, but I like you on air too. But yeah, I do like that help, mostly because I'm juggling a bunch of other stuff, so it's helpful. But at the same time, I do like doing it myself, so I could take it too, especially because I'm thinking about when you're playing and stuff, right? So you're playing. The idea is you're playing, and I'm usually not because I don't have money. But yeah, just basically that type of thing. Yeah. That was basically the idea. But yeah, man, I love all that. Even with wrestling, like there's just I've always really respect those guys because there's so much going on. A lot of it, of course, is in the headsets. And it's kind of like being a musician, right? There's like the secret world that the band relies on where, we've got a click track and a guide track and we've got to cue each other. And a lot of times we can't all see each other for whatever reason and stuff like that. And those type of behind the curtain things are really important. Yeah. But yeah, man, I recommend that for your own stuff, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just easier.
I'd probably kind of get a mixer then. I think by your advice, it just seems like the way to go. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Yeah.
If you have a simple one that you recommend, I don't think I need one huge.
Yeah.
I came across one that looked like it was pretty decent, had some effects on there. You could program 15 pre-recordings.
Who makes it?
Something like that.
That's the thing. That's always the question. Who makes it?
I don't know.
Yeah, go with the known.
It was on the Amazon
company.
or Sweetwater. I can't remember which.
Yeah, that's good.
I looked at both.
But yeah, always kind of who.
Let's see if it has.
And honestly, sometimes I prefer buying through Amazon.
On my phone.
A lot of times I prefer buying through Amazon. Because I find that they have these like really affordable protection plans, and I don't know, how people have different feelings about Amazon, but for me, it's like when you get something expensive or electronic, things happen, and it's nice to have pay $40 where they're like, oh, if something happens to this, you can replace it or whatever.
Let's see if it shows.
The protection plans.
Ooh, there. I know Becca came on. Ultimate Christian.
Does anybody know who this person is?
I don't know who it is.
All right, keep your finger on the remove guest button, Tux.
Okay.
Keep your finger on the button.
All right,
This might be a penis bomber.
Penis bombers.
Do not show us your penis. How you doing?
What do you think?
Uh-oh. You know what that means.
2, 1.
All right. Yep. Probably getting ready to expose himself. All right. You can say, did you just boot him?
Scary.
Yeah. Ultimated. That almost felt like a Blessed Be He type or something. Silence is scary.
Is there anybody who's
exactly,
who's
Cameron? Cameron, we've been traumatized.
Yeah.
We had Nidimos on, bro. We're good. We've had superstar talent on. What'd you think of the podcast last night? You were around for a while with Kat.
Yeah. It's the same back.
Yeah, you can let them on.
Put on their video.
Yeah, see if they. Wait, put on your video. Turn on your video. There we go. Yeah, you got to turn on your video. That's the way to go. Video. Yeah, we don't know this person. It's not like we know them.
I mean, they're ultimated Christian though. So
right. That
sounds not penis bombing. But I've been fooled before.
All right, what? How can we help you? How you doing?
Yeah.
Y'all know y'all gotta have y'all stuff together when you call into this show. When you call into somebody who's live on YouTube, I'm gonna hit me. Oh, there we go. There we go. Y'all, let's see if we. Hello, unfortunately, because your mic sounds terrible.
How about now? Is my voice
it's
coming in clear?
It's pretty crackly.
Oh, this is we know this person. This is ultimate. This is biblically. God's ultimate wife.
No, that's not Rep.
Yes, biblically?
We have spoken before. This is Ultimate Christian. So I've gone through some updates with my username. So from what I remember, my username was Ultimate Created Christian.
Wife, right?
Does that sound familiar?
Well, wife in it or something, right?
No, biblically God's perfect spouse.
Biblically God's perfect spouse, yes.
Old username.
Biblically God's perfect spouse, exactly. Perfect. Yeah, welcome back. Are you watching the stream right now? Are you watching my stream?
Yes, I'm watching it through the studio.
Okay. All right, well, listen up. Stop putting your microphones up Satan's asshole before you call my show.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. It sounds terrible. Awful. Go somewhere, figure out how to test that signal, and think about what you've done. It sounds like, actually, a lot of you guys might be using StreamYard. Not StreamYard. voice meter, and maybe it's like breaking up on you because like sometimes it does that, and if you're not listening to the signal, you don't actually notice that your digital audio sounds like asshole because you can't actually hear it. So sometimes you got to figure out like a monitoring path or something so that you can actually listen to the signal you're sending out. I literally have ways of doing that at all times, and also I have my stream sitting here on a tablet, which is going to the tablet. I can always hear it. I can also plug it in real quick, and then it'll go to a separate set of headphones and also to the speakers in front of me. All I have to do is unmute the speakers and press a button, right? So I can always figure out what the fuck is going on my stream and then try to figure out where it's coming from. But y'all got to hook a brother up. We are A-list atheists. Y'all notice we just be having Bread of Life be coming through, and Derek from Myth Vision, and Dr. Dan, and all types of people, and James Apperson, and Jason Torn. Y'all got it, and Cameron Bennett is here, and y'all seen what we did last night with Cat, right? Right? With a Black Cat's voice. That was crazy. All right, what'd you think of that? I thought that was crazy. I had so much fun last night. That was a treat for me.
Yeah,
I loved it.
I thought it was fantastic. I was here for the majority. I'm not sure how much longer you went. I went to bed somewhere around 11:30, 11:15, 11:30 last night.
Sure, yeah. She was very gracious with her time, stayed with us for quite a while. But yeah.
And, she sounded fantastic. The stream last night was a little choppy.
The audio, it was tough. It was tough. I think I felt bad because we should have gotten together and worked on the audio, and she was here a bit earlier. I ended up late, a lot later than I thought. I planned to be live most of the day, and then I ended up getting caught up in Derek's stream and taking care of a bunch of stuff behind the thing and getting ready. And then, like I said, after Derek went live, he called me. And it was weird. Like, I was like, oh, damn, I kind of want to go live. But it was the first time they had like just called me right after stream. So we just sitting there, and we just cracking jokes and shit. So I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, I kind of want to just show Dr. Derek. Like, yeah, I'll go live. I'll get there. You know, like it was super, super dope. But yeah, man. So it was super fun. Cause you gotta, you know, when you're out here like that and you're a big fan, you gotta enjoy those moments like that, you know? Yeah, if you don't take those moments for yourself,
Derek's shows the last 3 days have been fantastic. Monday, Tuesday,
unbelievable, right? Yeah,
his shows have been fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, now Kiss ass.
Too terrifying. There you go, Lena. What up, Lena? I got to send you something about your mic. That's my bad. I sent it to Amazon, like they said. They said it delivered it to a mail room. They probably screwed it up, or they probably delivered it to RoboCop or something like that. I don't know. But I'll show you what I got, and we'll try to get it fixed. We'll try to get it sent to the right place. I guess now that you know, Lena, send me a message with where to send it, with the correct address, and we'll take care of that. I apologize. We didn't want to spoil the surprise. I thought I got the address right, but I'm a junior boomer, so every once in a while, you know, I probably just whoops. Who knows where'd it go? But we did send it, and it got delivered. But y'all know Amazon, right? So it's probably I think it got delivered to the Amazon. You know, every once in a while, the Amazon package just goes astray. Probably ends up in the Amazon. I think that's how that works.
Then he would fucking do it. Then like a dolphin would come and jerk off on his face or some shit. But that was like from 1978. It's 2022, and I still remember the social message that fucking Aquaman taught me. Right? Now, it's probably a bad reference, but Bill Cosby. Buddy, this motherfucker. Hold on, gang. Sing the song. Don't you want to get fucked up?
Nah, more like lightly buzzed, but real stoned.
Buddy has answered this man's game. Dude, do you want water? Shit, try and drink. But Bill Cosby.
Thank you so much, dude, Lena. I appreciate that.
Water.
Sorry, I thought the plan was for you to get my piece before the other shit. And then the shit gonna happen in reverse, because y'all know we can't have nice things. Because when I try to plan some shit and get on top of shit and be responsible about some shit, the reward for my motherfucking efforts to be responsible human being is for shit outside of my control to go motherfucking sideways up in this bitch because I'm a monkey and life doesn't like me, and also I'm kind of not that good at it. So when you put those two, y'all know how it goes.
But he's so annoying. So, dude, you're thirsty. The water's right there. Gang. This motherfucker. Dude. But, Fat Albert. At the end of every Fat Albert, there was always a lesson about manners. Always. And the one that sticks out was the difference between a prank and hurting somebody. Okay, and right as I say that, I remember because I just told someone this story today. Because when I got to work, and how ironical, podcast, you can't see me, but I'm wearing my I'm an Army Brat t-shirt. I just built. I'm professional. I got to work, and again, I can't stand for long periods of time because of my leg. So I have a chair at work. My coworker is a Navy vet. And when I got to work, he had plastered the back of my chair with United States Navy flags. Gang, I laughed my monkey ass off. That's a prank. Now, I actually did a show about this in like season 1 or season 2. Two things that are absolutely true about me. 1, I actually don't like spiders. I don't. 2, I don't like my birthday. Never have. I never will. I don't give a shit. Right? Now, again, I was married to someone who was all about outer appearance. No matter how much it hurt on the outside, having a great time. Well, I'm glad she's gone. So, gang, to tie that together, when people at work found out that I did not like spiders, they terrorized me. They absolutely terrorized me. You know, putting plastic spiders in my locker, my mailbox. People would just wait to see me freak the fuck out. Again, I'm still trying to be the happy-go-lucky Negro, right? Again, I don't have the luxury of blowing up. I just don't, right? And again, it's like, you scared me and I almost died because of a heartache, motherfucker. Okay, someone at work, someone with a little expendable income there, she found out when my birthday was. And so she was like, oh, I know when your birthday is. I was like, well, okay, great. And they're like, I'm going to throw you a badge. And I was like, actually, thank you so much. That's very nice, but I actually don't like my birthday. And this isn't a no means yes. This is an honest and true statement. I don't like my birthday. So just drop it. Thank you. That person contacted
I figured out a way to deal with that.
Long story short,
fuck yourself,
again, this person had a lot of money and we're just throwing bash after year after year after year. And I fucking hate it. Every single party, I hate it. Every single gift. But again, I was married to someone who was all about show, right? Okay, long story short, the very last one I went to. Again, my mom didn't raise me in a fucking cave. I was like, someone was doing something nice. I fucking hated it. So I was like, thank you so much. Yes, yes, it's very nice. Thank you so much. And I just sat there. This last one, everyone's buying me gifts, giving me gifts. Again, I'm not big on getting gifts, but I was like, oh, a vegan cookbook. You know me so well. A t-shirt. That's a super extra petite. Oh, that's great. Gang, everyone in that room knew. Everyone in that room knew that last gift, what it was. The only people that didn't know was me and my then wife. Gang, I opened that goddamn gift up, and you know what was in it? An actual tarantula. Someone captured an actual tarantula and put it in a box. I don't like spiders. They tortured that animal. I opened it up, and gang, I was so hurt that my friends, quote unquote, did that to me. And I just went cold. Everyone's laughing at me, the blase and the glavinoids. And I finally I was like, fuck y'all. That, on the shrimp, that's not even close to being funny. I can't even, it's like, oh, you're a snowflake. What, you can't take a joke? We're like, that's not a fucking joke, right? You know, and what killed, again, it was literally at that moment, nice Robert, he died a horrific death. I've literally never been the same since, right? I still remember it was Doug While everyone else was like, oh, what, you can't take a joke? What, you a snowflake? What, you sensitive? Robert, it's just a joke. Remember, it's like having real fun. I just shit on myself. Doug came up behind me and did like this right here. Podcasters, hold on, let me get Buddy. Shit. Sing a song. Don't you want to get fucked up? Okay. Buddy has ants in his pants, so he's going into the fucking bedroom.
What's up? All right, I wanted to make this rant about Otangelo, so I'll tell you. I've been really thinking. Sometimes it bothers me how much I think about these people off air. Like, I'll be off air, like, why am I thinking about Rebecca Davis right now?
Yeah, she was in the chat about an hour ago.
Yeah, Rebecca's a cool cat. She's a cool cat.
About 40
She's a
minutes
cool
ago,
cat. She's a cool cat. No regrets there. But I was thinking about Otangelo a lot, and I don't know where I came out, but I landed on a couple things, which is interesting. So you've interacted now with Richard Madsen, right?
Twice.
Right. And I'm a proud anti-theist. Like, theists are the worst. What are you going to do with all these theotards, right? Which I just like the way it rolls off my tongue, to be honest. So I'm like, all right, so technically Richard Madsen is a theist, right?
So the last time we talked, I'm not sure what he is exactly. I mean, he and I have a similar view of the Bible.
Doug, you're going to get us canceled. It's 2022. I'm pretty sure Richard Madsen calls himself a theist. So yeah, Richard Madsen is a theist, right, Doug? We're not gonna be mistheologizing motherfuckers up in this.
He's definitely a he's something, but like when I asked him if he thought that the Bible came from a supernatural, he said no.
But angels are
But angels what?
I think angels are responsible. I think it's saying angels brought it to us.
Angels, yeah.
That's how we got it. But natural angels.
That's right.
Because I was trying to say, if it happened on another Earth, how did we get the story?
Yeah, I don't know. To me, it all is written by humans. All of it. 100% of it.
All of them.
There's nothing. I'll put it this way. You can hold up how amazing Jesus is all you want. You can hold up how evil the devil is and how much the devil controls all you want. I am prepared to put up humanity versus the devil, humanity versus Jesus, humanity versus God, any old day of the week. I'm putting my money on humans every single time. I don't care how supernatural you think your God is. Humans can defeat him.
Now, in the spirit of being a good minister, I'm gonna keep this conversation moving forward to the next thing, because I'm not gonna re-preach the man's sermon for you. Woo, that was fire. So when it comes to being a quote unquote anti-theist, though, right? Number one, I like Richard Madsen. Number two, Richard Madsen's a cool guy, pretty interesting, really interesting. Let's put it that way. Number three. I don't really think anything about what Richard Madsen believes or does is a danger to the world in any way, shape, or form. Quite the opposite, right? Like, for all intents and purposes, and when it comes to not believing what he believes, he could be like a Bigfoot theorist for me, like a Bigfoot apologist. Like, do I think people believe in Bigfoot? Yeah. Like, does it bother me? Like, no, I don't really think about it enough to have, like, really come to a full, grown-ass man conclusion on such a thing like that, right? And whatever they are currently doing, like, there's just not enough of them doing anything that concerns me enough that I'm anywhat concerned about it. So it's one of those things, like, yeah, I'm an anti-theist, but there are theists like this out there, and almost, I just always want to put, like, a permanent disclaimer on my shit, like, I ain't really talking to y'all. I always say the same thing. If it sounds like I ain't talking to you, I probably ain't talking to you, right? Which is that's how you self-assess, y'all. Oh, he's flipping out about religious theatards doing this, that, and the third, and I'm not doing any of those things. And how could you say those things about theists who do that if I'm not doing that? Rewind your thought right there, and you'll understand exactly what the fuck is going on. Yeah, so with that being said, I'm not interested in counter-apologizing Richard Madsen because it don't really concern me enough. There's just no motivation there. It's like, hey, Richard, what's up? You got 2 minutes because you're a nice dude. All right, cool. Which is, he ends up usually getting way more because, again, it's Richard Madsen for me. I did this to make friends. Richard Madsen's another content creator. I think he's super cool, so I let him hang for a bit. But it's kind of just like a friendly little interlude because I'm not going to sit here and argue about the fact that most Christians that I'm speaking to think the Bible describes a story that happened on this planet about Jesus of Nazareth from the Middle East 2,000 years ago. Right?
Yeah.
Like that's what I mean when I say Christian. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I could definitely get into the weeds with Richard on discussing the Bible. I mean, we already did once.
Sure. And I think it'd be fun, but I don't think it'd be like, you know, antagonistic interpersonally. Go ahead.
It's an interesting way of doing Bible study, the way Richard Madsen and I would obviously do it, because the way he was doing it is not norm. It's kind of confusing because he doesn't know scripture by approximate chapter and verse. He knows it by approximately what it says, because the way he's deciphering it. But another thing is, when I've watched his channel, he clearly used Blue Letter, which goes by chapter and verse. So I don't quite understand. It's very confusing to me on what his expectations and limitations
I think he would probably say, I think he says the only bad Bible is the Richard Madsen Bible. But that he will...
Well, that's the thing. He's kind of translated it himself. So,
okay,
you know,
yeah,
whatever it is.
So
I also think an interesting conversation would be with Kenny and I.
I want to talk to Kenny so badly. I don't quite have the email. I want to talk to Kenny like so badly.
Yeah, I think that would be an interesting conversation.
So badly. Also, dude, Bread of Life she called in today for the first time.
Yeah, I saw.
It was really sweet. It was really nice. It was really nice. And again,
I was waiting for an appointment to show this afternoon, and I got to listen to the most of it. I think you said hello and goodbye to her. What were you on when I had to go? I don't remember.
It was just really nice because, and I actually felt bad. Like, again, I tried to express to her, because she expressed, like, you know, not wanting to be disrespecting to people like me. And I was kind of using her as an example. And she really motivates me, but not in the way I think she does. She doesn't upset me. She reminds me of people I know and really care about. And the fact that I can't, like, get her to see what I see is frustrating for the same reason it's frustrating with the people I know and love, which is so different than the people who I think are just pure hooked on retarded, stuck on stupid, as we like to say. So it was just interesting because I felt bad for making her feel bad, right? I'm like, nah. And I tried to tell her, hey, Rebecca, you absolutely have my permission to make fun of me, right? Like, please, girl, like, it's all in the game, and I appreciate you. Like, don't trip. Like, it ain't personal, right? But what's interesting is Rebecca is also examining evolution, right? And she's anti-evolution in a way that I feel a lot of, again, the people I know and love are very susceptible to, right? And I like her. So that combination of, like I told her today, just understand you work for the enemy. So me and you, we friends. Like, I consider you a friend, right? But just understand you work for the enemy, so I got to keep coming at you, and I know you're going to keep coming at me. And like I told you, it's all love. Don't take it personally. I'm going to take shots at you. And guys, this is real talk. I told her to finally find this channel. She found a video. She saw a video. Remember the video I got on the stream got cut short, right? But I went live once. I went live for like maybe 30, 40 minutes or whatever it was. The stream got interrupted and I had to restart it, right? But in the beginning, I did this intro and I got on my knees because she had called me out on her stream. And I got on my knees, I was like, guys, I'm so scared. Myron, come save me. Rebecca Davis said she's been calling me out and I'm scared. It's too terrifying, right? I did the whole bit, right? And she saw that and she commented like, LOL, yeah, you're scared or whatever, right? She was talking trash in the comment. Like, yo, Rebecca fun as shit, y'all. But it's kind of weird because I'm super motivated to like get there and go there with her because not only do I think she's cool and friendly and I like her, but also she represents a perspective that I think is mainstream enough that in some weird way I relate to it and I find it as relevant, but then in that weird way, mucho problematic because it's what I feel like the people are close to me are so susceptible to, right?
Well,
do you understand what I'm saying by that, though?
You also have a situation where you have so much intelligence that I don't have, and when the questions are, you have that teacher mentality where sometimes the question is, so far away from where you are, you're going to be like, okay, let me parse this out. Let me show you. Let me start from the beginning. And you show that patience. But it seems like there's your fuse has already been lit for the ones that have already been asked and answered, like you basically have blown up on Otangelo with.
Right.
You have already heard his shtick. You have already been on another channel.
Right.
With somebody else and already corrected him and asked him the very simple question of, Otangelo, you have somebody in the profession in that education field has already spent their 10,000 hours on it. Why are you quoting this other guy from 250 years ago?
Right. Right.
We have the answer right here, right now. You don't need to resort to what we didn't have 250 years ago. We already have that, and it's in the present.
Right.
And so your frustration and blowing up on him yesterday,
right,
or Tuesday, I think it was.
Sure.
Is because of the 3 other programs. I think you've been on 3 other programs with him, explaining to him the very same thing. That he still wants to go back and quote somebody else that you don't have. Something that you don't have or he thinks you don't have.
And the other thing is yesterday or the other day, whatever, he had actually sat there and pretty much watched parts of my stream, at least with Cliff, and sat through my meeting with Mike, who's actually like, he's always talking about abiogenesis and origins of life and all of this, right, stuff. And so I'm sitting there like, oh, Mike, head of the fucking Department of Ecology and Evolutionary Biology at the University of Minnesota, tell us about the work you've been doing your entire life and how it relates to these matters of origins, right? And he's going on with the blase and the flavonoids and giving the backstory and everybody breaking down. And the rest of the chat is just on fire with the great comments and the questions and the links and everything. And Otangelo is just calling them a blowhard, right? And so I'm like, again, Otangelo, it's just, you've got, again, like you said, so yesterday was particularly frustrating, right? Because again, I'm not even, accept my 2 PhDs. Because you know what, a lot of people could be real critical and say, Jay, didn't you say you just finished grad school that's like a year ago? Yeah, true. Have you like published a whole bunch of shit and like won a whole bunch of shit as an actual doctor in your field and shit, right? I'd be like, no, I kind of just got my ticket to the dance, you know what I'm saying? So, Jay, go sit over there and shut the fuck up until you like got more credentials and all of this other shit, right? Not till you're a professor in training. Like, show me you're a professor, right? So I'm like, yeah, here's my stand-in. He's my advisor, right? He's like, he's, again, accomplished all the shit, most scientists could never even dream to accomplish in their career. All right, so he's going to break it down for you right now. You could ask a good question. I'll repeat it to him as we demonstrated and all that shit, right? And again, you stuck on stupid. Like, you're going to pretend like he is just not set. And he spoke to all of the stuff. Oh, yeah, we've got really good answers here, and we're all doing this, and we're training the new people, and we got all the answers, and we can piece them different together. And not only that, we can stitch it all together and repeat it all the time, and we do the history and all this stuff. And it's just like, it was just so willfully ignorant. But then I was conflicted because I felt sad. The same reason I love Rebecca is the same reason I feel like she's a lot more fortunate. Because I feel like she has a different sense of community and acceptance and normalization for her particular brand of essentially what boils down to be the same type of beliefs. Okay, so Rebecca's not Shroud Turin, but she's probably YEC, right? Anti-evolution, ride or die.
I don't know if she's necessarily those. She's not gonna die on that horse.
No, she claims she's already died on it. Nidamos, did you see her interview with Nidamos? Nidamos has the magic. Nidamos got her to actually say, number one, she said, what did she say?
Yeah, but I'm the same way when it comes to the conversation whether we have a creator or not. I'm not dying on that horse. But I am going to be an atheist against Jesus and an atheist against Yahweh.
Well, that's what she said. She said she'd be an atheist against evolution, right? She wouldn't believe it even if God wasn't real. But if the Bible said the earth was old, she'd accept it because she just accepts what she's told in this regard because of the authority. And it was like she was just spilling all the beans. So that's where I say she's ride or die YEC. But I hope you're right. So let's just leave it, put it to you that way. But my point is, with her, not that I don't really get it, but I think with her, I'm with it. With Otangelo, I feel like he's such an outcast even to the other side. It's like I don't consider him to be that problematic because Otangelo's so clearly like on some weirdo type of stuff. And then nowhere near as sort of, I think, representative of what I feel is like the normal, quote unquote, practicing Christian the way Rebecca is. And that might be a harsh judgment and mischaracterization in some rights for me, but that's just how I felt about it. I was like, but yo, do I really care? Because it's not like the people who are like storming the Capitol and doing all the killing of the cops and all of this type of nonsense, right, are really actually Shroud Turin apologists, right? Or even as beholden to intelligent design the way Otangelo is. Even if they're YEC, they're more what I would call biblical literist YEC, right? Whereas Otangelo is a anti-evolutionary science apologist. There's a difference. You see the difference? Rebecca just goes, I believe what the Bible tells me to think. The Bible tells me to think God did it, magic, poof, poof, bang, bang, right? And Otangelo goes, well, I do believe the Bible happens to be accurate, but I believe it is definitely scientifically accurate, and I believe that science cannot do this with the blah, 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 and it's just different spectrums of it, right? I see these like nuances to their approach, whereas Rebecca will just be like, well, yeah, I totally admit I don't know what I'm talking about, but, I just ain't convinced by evolution because I love Jesus. And we're like, all right, Rebecca, that's not really how this works, but all right. And then what's interesting, too, is at the same time, on the ideological perspective, I don't think Otangelo's really that dangerous of a person interpersonally. Otangelo is a person I feel bad for rather than I think being dangerous. Like, when you hear Otangelo actually talk on an interpersonal level, Otangelo will be like, well, yeah, actually, the truth is, Jay, I actually just think that, the message of Jesus is that we need to be better people, and I just believe that. And I just believe that in faith, and I just, and he really is real with me like that. And then from there, he's like this oddly lovable oddball character, and I always am attracted to the oddballs in my life. They always end up being super great friends because they're loyal, and you guys can have it. You can yell at them, and they don't. It's whatever. It just is what it is. And then it's like, oh yeah, he has these really weird beliefs, but they're so way out here. It's like, I kind of feel bad for the guy because the people I actually care the most about changing their minds and stuff, they don't accept him. They're not like, really, they're not like, oh no, I'm not like him. No, I don't want them weird trap turn people. You know what I mean? So I'm like, come on, Otangelo. Yo, it's Otangelo. Like, Otangelo's harmless. Like, Otangelo ain't gonna do nothing to nobody. You know what I mean? But it is therefore weird where he doesn't bother me as much, but at the same time, I also feel bad for him. Like, I don't know where he goes, and that's where I'm kind of wondering. Like, I noticed the fact that his channel tends to be really small, and that's fine, but it tends to be like disproportionate by like the weird, like Donnie was up in there, and LPP and those type of guys, and I'm like, man, Otangelo, like, you don't want to hang with them dudes. Like, they're not gonna do nothing, but. You know what I'm saying? They're not friends. That's not a friendly chat for you to have, right? If that's the type of people you have on your chat, like they're just there for whatever, who knows why. But,
So let me ask you 2 questions.
Sure.
Maybe even more.
That's
Did
fine.
you see Rebel Nazareth on Nathan's channel yesterday?
Cameron sent me a picture, but I didn't actually catch it.
So they talked for a good hour. Nathan was definitely pulling some good epistemology, street epistemology on him. And Otangelo, when he's on a show like that, either the Christian channels or the atheist channels, I would put my money on Otangelo and Rebel Nazarene as better deconverters from the faith than William Lane Craig.
This was going somewhere interesting and then became like a hard turn to much even more interesting. Because I thought you were going to be like a better deconverter than like the counter-apologist. And then I was like, but then you threw in the real hard turn, which is like, when the people get into the apologist, they're doing the job for us. But then you say he's even better. Yeah, that's nuance, baby. I love it.
William Lane Craig, when he says what he says, and it sends us anti-theists into a tizzy, it's because he just basically said the same thing we're saying. He's just saying it where it sounds like his faithful followers are going to eat it up and say, yeah, that's right. You tell him, WLC, you tell him. and it's the folks like Cosmic Skeptic and Drew from Genetically Modified Skeptic.
Yeah, this was Nidamos who was
Doug
talking about earlier.
And Derek and Apologia and
well, dude, he made a thing about Nidamos' former
guy.
church before, so Nidamos got him too. Yeah,
they are
awesome.
all going to shred him apart and just make their case. And honestly, the atheists are going to win every single time.
Every time.
But how many does it deconvert? I put that number very low. But listening to Rebel Nazareth yesterday, I'm pretty sure he had to have deconverted every time he answered a question. One or two Christians.
Wow. Very interesting.
I would stack my chips on that roulette table all the time.
I'll tell you how embarrassing their stuff is. Like, that's the one thing I like kind of worry about, even with doing like the educational stuff, is like, I don't want those type of trolls in a chat with my students in it. It keeps me up at night. Because it's just so wacko, right? Mm-hmm. At the same time, it is sort of like, incredibly instructive, especially when it's appropriate to the topic matter of my class. But at the same time, it's such vicarious embarrassment for everyone involved. It's like, we don't even want that. It's not even helpful. We don't even need that in this space. And there's just not a lot of people in this community that I really feel that way about, right? Most people, whatever you might think, I think as long as you're engaging genuinely and your comments are friendly, and even if you're poking fun or you don't agree with me, but you put it in like a fun little way, well, Jay, well, I don't know, the mutations are, totally negative, so I don't know how they get you information. That's kind of silly or whatever, but it's like, all right, cool. You don't get it, but that's fine, right? But when you come off at that vitriol, like he died for your sins and you have rejected his grace and now you shall be tormented for all of the eternity. Don't say I didn't warn you.
Yeah.
Would just be like, brought to you by Team Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Atheism, actually, thanks for the sub. We appreciate you. I don't know. I don't know what happens. It happens, yeah, man. Yeah, it happens. Happy about that. Appreciate you on that march to 1,000. Let's go.
That chime was a new sub?
Yes.
So the other night you were bragging about how great my setup is. I just want you to know, this setup is so hillbilly. This is white ghetto. This is white ghetto land.
All right,
if you could see what I'm looking at. If you could see what I'm looking at here. Actually, here, let me.
So, dude, just hang like a big black backdrop behind you, like a big black.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
And then just project that light against the wall, and then do a little key lighting on a little foreground lighting on yourself. You actually don't need to key light the background in this case, because then the light will project onto the background, look real nice, a little lighting on you. Let's see if I can. And it'll look like you're in a very serious old school broadcasting studio. Because what did the old school broadcast do? They were figuring shit out, y'all. They just put up big black curtains in the studio, set out a table and a couple of chairs in front of it, did a snazzy little intro. Welcome to Tonight with So-and-so. I'm your host, Blase Glavinoids. And joining me is our special guest, some other guy. Cue the canned audience applause. Yeah. Great. All right. And so we'll be sitting here talking about this new book, the one I have sitting on this table in front of me because it's 1995 and that's how television is made. Cool. Tell us about the book you wrote. Great. Cool. All right. Shut the fuck up for a second. We'll be right back, folks, with more from the dude who wrote this book that's sitting on my table. Right? That's just, that was TV. So... it was all about content. That's actually what I love about Doug is like he just focuses on, doing kick-ass streams and it's kind of, low tech and boomerish, but he makes it look good. And you sound a lot nicer. So, no, I'm fucking with you, Doug. But yeah, it's a great setup you got there. And then we keep getting this rotation of avatars. So when Tux poofs out, my avatar pops up. When I poof out, his avatar pops up. And then we go back in trying to change these things, and we'll get it together. It's like, I guess we got to check up in this bitch because it'll just go to the latest one. StreamYard, Restream needs to be better about these type of things. Seriously. And I can't change his avatar. Oh, there he goes. He got it. All right, y'all. Since I'm here by myself for a second, let's have a little fun here. There we go. Fox time in the hizzy. Facts time in the house. All right, let's rant a little bit, y'all. Let's wax a little bit, as Uncle Bobby would say. So yeah, I told y'all about Otangelo. He don't really bother me too much because, like I said, like the shit is just not mainstream enough. You know, it's just not enough people that's rocking with that. And then on a personal level, he ain't really that dangerous. He's more just kind of somebody you feel bad that they're really like holding on to this whacked out stuff, you know? Like, you're a QAnon mom that don't really go to none of the rallies or nothing like that. Like, she just kind of be reading they crazy posts on social media and shit, you know? And, but like, but yeah, that's the type of vibe I get, you know? So that's kind of something I wanted to wax about. The other thing was, man, I really enjoyed sharing that wrestling video with y'all because it was really an epically produced segment, but it really told so many of the stories that, you know, are part of the whole Word Wrestling Entertainment vibe. And there's little things that I tried to be. Hang on, I got to change my settings back to my actual camera so you can see my face. I tried to. What'd you say?
Fortunately, my secondary camera is not working. It just says no.
Oh, you good? No worries.
I was gonna try to do that, and that way you could see the setup I have, and just how hillbilly this is.
Oh.
Now you did mention that my earphones.
Yes, they're nice.
Earphones are somewhat baller. Somewhat.
Yeah, they are. They are somewhat baller for sure.
I bought them, I believe, for £269, which is about $340. $340, $50, somewhere in there. So it's not too bad. But it was my birthday present to myself.
Yeah.
Went to London. I walked past this headphone shop and I was like, wow, look at those headphones. They're nice. Oh, yeah.
Cameron, you also need to press ! store to see all the items you can actually redeem. Sometimes people are making suggestions for things they'd like to see redeemed. So Lena put in redeem blase doesn't mean that we actually have a redeem blase. It means she would like to see us have a redeem blase so we could. So the problem is I don't really know how to do that damn character, and we gotta get on. We gotta have a session where we dig for samples. But yeah, that is one I'd actually like to have, Lena. But yeah, do ! store, and Myron Bottle drop the link for all the stuff you can redeem and how many pocket change it costs and all that. Yeah, I think I checked off all the rants off my list for today. 300 subs, can't keep my cool with creationists. Maybe you can. Planning new video series. Yep, that's all the evolution education. Oh, let's talk about the Ken Hovind strategy. All right, baller shit. Hang on a second.
Gonna see how long I sit here before I finally go. I just know it. Nope, he's back.
All right, so I've been trying to tell you, this is the book. This is the book my teacher mentor Rob Pennock wrote. It's called Tower Babel: The Evidence Against the New Creationism by Robert T. Pennock. I'll be teaching a course this semester at Penn State, listen to me, at Michigan State with Rob Pennock. This will be the course book. There's a link for it in the description. So this class, which is about the philosophy of science behind evolutionary theory and how the new creationism, which is intelligent design, for those of you that didn't know, is not a science. And yeah, he was the expert witness at the whole Kitzmiller versus Dover trial. So given that we have put Ken Hovind's dumbass into a stranglehold, the topic of our debate against Ken Hovind on Standing for Truth channel happens to be Evolution on Trial. So since this dumbass fell into the honey trap I set for him, we'll be debating Evolution on Trial, where I'll be plugging my course that starts 2 days later with the expert witness from the, super major trial.
Is he the
last
one?
time Evolution was on trial?
Is he the one that used the mouse trap as a tie clip?
I think that was one of the lawyers, actually.
It was somebody on the stand.
Oh, it was? I don't think it was him. It might have been one of the other witnesses.
Let's see. I have the Google
or maybe
right
it
here
was.
in front
Go
of me.
see who it is. See, Google the tie clip. I saw his testimony, and I don't think they mentioned the tie clip. Maybe they just don't mention it in his testimony, but I didn't think it was him. There are pictures of him on it. He looks a lot younger and stuff. It's really funny. But let's see. The point is, there's a chapter in here about these things: creationism and the evolution of controversy, the evidence for evolution, blah blah blah, Tower of Babel, blah 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 blah. Naturalism, negativity, charity of the God, blah blah blah.
Called.
Oh, and then school. All right, I'm gonna have Rob just give me the damn slides. I need them damn slides, Rob. When do I meet with Rob? What's today? Is today Thursday? I'll meet Rob at like 4 o'clock. I'm gonna be like, Rob, I need these goddamn slides. I don't even want to remake this shit. All right, so look, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna be going through this chapter right here, picking out some dumb shit that creationists say that's in this book right here. And then all I'm gonna really do, y'all, is we're gonna summarize all the times that evolution was actually on trial. And then I'm gonna use that to talk about what you could find in this here book about how intelligent design is not creationism. And then I'm also cherry pick sweet segments from Rob Pennock's testimony in the Kitzmiller versus Dover trial about how intelligent design creationism is not science. And then we're going to let Ken Hovind's dumbass talk about how evolutionism is a religion. And I don't even know what the fuck evolutionism is. Oh, yeah, I do. Wait, and I do know what that is, and it's wrong. It's not a thing. And then, what else will he hit us with? Some dumb shit about kinds, which we'll just repeatedly ask him to define, and he won't. What else we got? He'll probably say something about how do we know that fossils reproduce, which is the ridiculous question, and I don't really work with fossils, so I don't really know. He should probably go ask somebody who works with fossils, which he won't. On there with the blase and glaive animals. The point is he's fallen into the honey trap. He's dumb. He should never agree to debate someone on evolution on trial because this has already been settled. The point will be that not only is there a scientific consensus about evolution, and not only has intelligent design creationism never contributed a goddamn thing to biology, but since the topic happens to be evolution on trial, I'm going to just stick to evolution on trial. I'm just going to try to fucking address the motherfucking topic of the goddamn debate, right? I'm a rookie, I haven't had 319,000 debates like Ken Hovind had and won every single one of them against all the atheist retards like he has. So I'm going to just stick to the motherfucking topic of conversation. And I'm going to be trying to push this motherfucking book right here. I'm going to be like, I'm about to be teaching with this guy. We're going to be using this book right here in my class. Go State, buy the book, link in the Discord, after party at Pocket Locker 86. Yeah, so let me talk about what this guy, Rob Pennock, said. Oh, yeah, actually, hang on, hold my book. Somebody hold that textbook I used to teach at the real university up in this bitch. In my Darwin's Law class. Hang on a sec. Let me pull up my teaching mentor's expert testimony from that time evolution was on trial. What did he say? Right, and then I just shove his foot all the way. I'm shoving my foot all the way up his ass. All right, that's the strategy. Thank y'all very much. We'll be commencing preparation today. It's the 25th. The debate's on Monday, so we ain't got all fucking a whole chunk of time up in here, which is good because I don't really want to spend that much time thinking about Ken Hovind, to be quite honest with you. So we're going to roll through, drop some flying man bombs, keep it cool, dip, and have an after party. So that's the strategy. Yay, we've talked about Ken Hovind. That's the strategy, y'all. Oh, Rebel Naz, say his name 3 times. Oh, that's what I got to do to get these theists to show up. I got to literally just like look into the mirror and really be saying their names and shit. I got to start doing that shit. Oh, Rebel Naz is here. The day Jay made it is when he is featured on Kent's Whack and Atheist Wednesday show. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. I'm big time, baby. It's going to be dope when I'm on Whack and Atheist. That's going to be great. He going to make clips of me, make Whack and Atheist. I'm going to clip that, make clips of him. I'm hoping that Kent Hovind wants to start a rivalry because we talked about some stuff, right? Me and Rebecca will make great rivals because we don't agree about very important things, but we really like each other. So we could come with, hey, Rebecca, I'm going to say you're stupid motherfucker on my channel every day. Don't take it personally. I just think you're cute and cool and I really like you. But you're kind of sitting on some bullshit, right? Right? Otangelo, it's like, Otangelo, I'm deeply conflicted about you. Let's fight, right? But Ken Hovind and I could really do a lot of great business together. And it becomes a different type of thing. It's where everybody knows in real life, in very, very real life, I hate that motherfucker. I'm going to cut a little mini bonus promo for y'all that is what we call a worked shoot. It's a pro wrestling moment, but it just happens to accord with real life, so people don't know because it seems so unscripted and real because it's real. Pipe bomb style, they call it. All right, here we go. Rebel Naz watches a lot of documentaries. That's hilarious, Cameron Bennett. All right, y'all, so check this out. Here's some real shit that Kent Hovind needs to understand. In Tux, I'm going solo on this for a second just because I don't want you to bear the heat for this. So, I'm on the screen by myself. I'm good. Nah, you good. You can leave it. You can stay on there. I'm on my scene. I'll switch back. All right, so look. Here's the truth, y'all. I want y'all to understand something very different going into my debate against Kent Hovind than any debate you've ever seen Kent Hovind go into. Perhaps with rare exception. I put R and Ra up there in the same league in this thing I'm about to talk about. Maybe Professor Dave could be on the Mount Rushmore of this. Erica can't make the cut. She's just too sweet to everybody. But I genuinely believe, given how much not only evolutionary biology means to me, but how much it gives to me and how passionate I am about it and the fact that I really do like fighting over it. Because it's some shit I'm always right about, right? You know, I like being right. You know what I mean? All the